And all right, we're live. Hello, everyone. Good evening, and a warm welcome to everyone at MESC Red Devils NCR. I have Weber with me on stream. Hi, Weber. Hope you're doing good. Positive atmosphere all around. And rightly so because of the form that we are in. But before we begin the stream, for all those who are watching, do like and subscribe now itself. It helps us a lot, and it will help us in further streams as well. So go ahead, do like, do subscribe, and please be an active part of the stream. We'd love to have you share your insights with us as well as the stream goes on. It's going to be a good stream. It's going to be a live stream. Would hope to see you all coming in large numbers. With that being said, Vaibhav, it's deadline day. One of the most busiest periods in football all around Europe, and here we are talking about deadline day. So let's start with United first. Off topic from the transfer news. In fact, the news has come out that Christian Eriksen will be out for not just 2 to 3 weeks, but at least for 2 to 3 months. At such a crucial phase of the season, where games are going to come every 3 days, how bad a blow is this for United, and how much are we going to miss Eriksen's presence in the middle of the park?
Well, to begin with, I hate Andy Carroll, first of all. I absolutely hate him and the referee who didn't give a card, first of all. Obviously, he's going to be a he's going to be a massive miss. I felt Ericsson needed some rest, but I do not blame Eric Ten Hag for playing him in that game. He's obviously a manager who's taking every game seriously. For him, these cup games matter, right? Because he wants to win a trophy and he wants to be successful this season. Obviously, it's devastating to be very honest with you. And I thought, when I heard news this morning that what we're not going to get Ericsson, and I was thinking, oh my God, is it going to be some other Wootweg or signing or something like that? But I'm glad that we are going for Sabitzer. But to be very honest with you, there's this greedy side of me. If you say, I would have rather wanted that we would have Ericsson and Sabitzer. Why? I mean, I mean, I was looking at this way, right? If we wanted to get Sabitzer on loan, why didn't we do it before itself? So that he would have come and played in the reading game, right? I mean, though it's a panic buy, it's a good buy, but I think it's a bit late considering our important midfielder is injured now.
You're right about the move being in this late, but then, as per the thought process of the people above, it was going to be we would just tentatively dip into the market, and the gossips and the rumors around were we would be interested in looking at a midfielder, preferably on loan, but then the Ericsson injury has just cascaded things to a whole new level where it didn't become a tentative dip. It had to be a necessary jump into the market to just make sure that we are just stocked in that area, because we are scarily thin as far as squad depth is concerned, and there is a genuine threat that we could be overrun had this deal that come out of the blue. Speaking about Sabitzer, in fact, like you said, the news just came out of the blue. Uh, the reports did indicate that United went in to speak to Bayern for both Sabitzer and Gravenberg, but then Bayern were reluctant to send the latter on loan, but they're more than happy to bring in Sabitzer. What are your thoughts on Sabitzer? What do you make of him as a player if you've watched him play? And do you think in this Ten Hag system he would be the right fit also? So, what are your thoughts on the Sabitzer on Sabitzer as a whole?
I did watch him play a couple of games, where when Leipzig under Nagelsmann was doing pretty well in the Champions League those days, where I think Leipzig reached semi-finals, and I think Leipzig faced us also in one of the group stage games, if I'm not mistaken. So I did see a bit of him, and I remember last year, or I think last year around this time only, it was one of those Ralph Ragnick suggestions, right? So I was kind of keeping my eye on him. I was, I mean, First of all, I think he suits Eric Ten Hag's role. I mean, Eric Ten Hag's play. He's a pressing monster. His pressing stats are good. He scores goal. He's attacking. He's tenacious. I would say he is an upgrade on Fred, for a more simpler understanding. But he's got definitely more in his game. You could say he's a jack of all trades. I mean, he can play the CDM role, he can play the box to box role very well, but I feel his game suits the box to box role, taking the ball from Casemiro, fetching it to Bruno for an opportunity, or, the wingers or the striker. I think it's a good signing, good replacement signing for Ericsson. And especially when you see your rivals, in the window. I mean, talk about Liverpool. Yes, they didn't get a midfielder, but they did get a Gakpo to fill in for Luis Diaz and an underperforming Mo Salah and Roberto Firmino. Well, to be very honest, whole team is underperforming. Um, Chelsea have been relentless this summer. I mean, this January transfer window. Arsenal, I think Jorginho is a very, very good signing. So when your rivals are making such good signings, not to forget Newcastle, you need to, reinforce on areas, right? And why do you need to reinforce? It's not you need to reinforce specifically for situations like Ericsson. I mean, we talk about we are thin, right? I mean, we are one tackle away from to Casemiro from probably going on a bad run. We also what happened in the Emirates, right, when Casemiro was not there. I put up my hand and I say, you know what? If Casemiro had been there in that day, we wouldn't have lost that game. Hell yeah, I can even say that I can even guarantee you we would have won that game had Casemiro been there. He would have absolutely owned them. So I think, look, we got a very, very good player. But again, I mean, how quick he adapts to the league would be very, very important. Because let me tell you one thing, Sabitzer, he's not been in the World Cup. Initially in the Bayern Munich season, he was pretty much good. He started 3 Champions League games, and he scored a goal and a couple of assists. But I think when Goretzka got fit, he sort of went out of favor. Somewhat like a Donny Van de Beek situation happened with him. So yeah, I mean, there is passion, there is hunger in the player. He wants to come, he wants to get those extra minutes, and he wants to prove that he can be a good starter in a club like Bayern. So I'm all excited for him. And what time to come? You could probably win 2 trophies. Top four. If you do well, who knows? If you do well, perhaps we move on McTominay or Fred, and you get to be the main man beside Ericsson. So yeah, it's a good signing.
I mean, yeah, I mean, a lot of talk like Kushagra has put it. Manchester United are pushing to sign Sabitzer, and he's already spoken to the manager who likes the player. So I think at the end, if the manager does like the player, I think I don't see any reason why we shouldn't go for the player. So just for everyone's knowledge, the British transfer window ends at 11 p.m. Britain time, which is 4:30 in India, and the German transfer window ends at 5 p.m. GMT, which is 10:30 India time. So we have less than 90 minutes left for the German transfer window to close, and we still have more than 7 hours for the British transfer window to close. Speaking about Sabitzer further, Webber, it seems like this is only going to be a matter of time before the deal is announced. How does Sabitzer help us in our pressing scheme of things? Like you said, Sabitzer is a very good presser off the ball. And with the likes of Casemiro, with Bruno, even with Weghorst in the fray, who's more than a good presser himself, how does it involve and how does it improve our pressing game? Because if you look at this season in a microcosm, our pressing stats have improved since last season, but even that improvement only sees us be somewhere around the middle of the pack when it comes to pressing stats. It's somewhere around the middle. We're middling in that. It's not been good. It's not been bad either. Uh, how much of an improvement will Sabitzer be in our pressing and our counter pressing as well? Since the counter press is something that it's one of Ten Hag's cornerstones for his way of play. So, what are your thoughts on how Sabitzer could improve the pressing and in a midfield which thrives on a counter press basically?
Like I think Ten Hag, from the time he's come in, he's made it really clear, that he's going to have this team who's going to play a really high pressing football, attacking, fair play, beautiful game, right? No backwards passes, no sideways passes. And the best part about Ten Hag is, he's a manager who knows the market. You know, he knows the European market. He's worked in, Bundesliga. He's worked in Ajax. Um, I mean, we all know what the recruitment system of Ajax is all about, right? It's very, very good. So Eric Ten Hag has got a good eye for players. We're not talking about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer going for, Odion and Gallo, right? We're here talking about quality players. that in itself is an art, because how often do you see a transfer window in January this late being so good? I mean, obviously it's a panic buy, but it's still a very, very good deal. And regarding the pressing stats, look, I think Sabitzer is a kind of player I would love to have in my team, because I think he would be absolutely flawless. He would absolutely destroy the lower league teams. The ones who sit on the bus, who sit on the ground, who park the bus, who are very tight to break, very hard to break. I think players like Sabitzer and Casemiro, Fred on his day could be very, very crucial to break those defense. I mean, break the opposition side. Time and time again. Um, since the Mourinho days or Oli days, we have seen those sneaky 1-0 against Newcastle losses and all that, right? So I think with a midfielder like that, who's tenacious, who can pass forward, who's good on the ball, who does not feel scared to go the distance like McTominay. I think it's an absolutely amazing signing. I'm only worried about one thing is, he's not had much game time. He's not been to the World Cup, and we saw some players who weren't in part of the World Cup, scheme of things. When the break got over, they were pretty rusty, right? And now what happened is, you know, he hasn't been part of Bayern Munich, right? So, I mean, uh, how long and how quickly he adapts, that would be the key. But I think I trust Eric Ten Hag in this situation completely, because we've seen with the likes of Martinez and to some extent Anthony, they have done well. They have done reasonably well. Anthony has done reasonably well. Martinez has been fantastic. So I'm sure Sabitzer should, I mean, we shouldn't be keeping high expectations with him, but the way our season is right now, I hope he hits the ground running. As soon as I think he would be available for the Crystal Palace game. So I hope he just hits the ground running at that time.
Yeah, I mean, you spoke about players taking time to find their feet. What I noticed is even Weghorst is of a similar mold when it comes to the pressing and other side of things. And I think he's found his footing pretty quickly after a couple of training sessions or so. So I expect Sabitzer to go along the lines of finding his footing quickly, because it is a system which is not that far from how Ten Hag plays with Ajax. So the expectation is that he hits the ground running pretty well. Mojasa says on comments that we should have had both Ericsson and Casemiro out by those horrific tackles. Thank goodness Casemiro is safe. Ojas Bhai says Sabitzer of Leipzig was a pretty decent player, and he hoped that the deal does go through. Speak. Let's we will talk about United sooner rather than later during the course of the stream. But let us have a roundup of the rest of the sides who are competing alongside us as well. And starting, let's start with the league leaders. Let's start with Arsenal. Abhijit Bhai, in a stunning turn of events, Arsenal have gone ahead and signed Jorginho, and it's not a loan deal as a lot of people thought it to be. It is a permanent transfer with a 1.5 year contract with the option of another year. It's a 12 million fee. This is to make sure that Partey is protected as much as possible. And another result of this transfer is that Lokonga has gone on loan to Crystal Palace, which completes that Arsenal cycle. What do you make of the Jorginho transfer? Do you think he is the right fit for Arsenal at a time where they are looking to, solidify their position on the top of the table? And do you think the transfer makes sense?
यार पहली बात तो ये कि एवरी फ्रॉम 6 hours आई एम सीइंग दैट कि दैट एंजो फर्नांडिस की डील अभी तक हुई नहीं है एंड चेल्सी हैव सोल्ड आउट जॉर्जिनो. पहली बात तो ये कि दैट आर्सेनल हैव डन अ वेरी ट्रेमेंडस एक्सीलेंट साइनिंग बोलूंगा मैं, क्योंकि द वे द एक्सपीरियंस दैट जॉर्जिनो हैज इन द मिडफील्ड एंड ही नोज हाउ टू विन द ट्रॉफीज. तो डेफिनेटली एक मतलब आर्सेनल का एक एक एक्सीलेंट साइनिंग होगा. चेल्सी को अभी एंजो फर्नांडिस का एक डील नहीं हुआ, तो आई थिंक उनको तो भाई उनके फैंस तो आउटरीचेस पे आ जाएंगे और उनको टोटली क्या ही कर देंगे भाई वो तो. लेकिन जॉर्जिनो व्हाट ब्रिंग्स टू आर्सेनल इज कि वो एक डिसरप्टर है. ही डिसरप्ट द अटैक जो उनको चाहिए था. जाका ठीक है भाई, टैकल करता है, हिज टू बॉक्स, बट जॉर्जिनो जो है ना, मतलब एक एक ब्रिज है जो डिफेंस और मतलब अटैक के बीच में जो प्लेयर है वो जॉर्जिनो है। एंड जब जॉर्जिनो फॉर्म में रहता है नो, मतलब जो भी मतलब ऐसा, मतलब इफ यू आर सीन इन चेल्सीज ट्रांजिशन, जब ट्यूकल ने जब खेला था, ही वाज वे वे बेटर देन, मतलब जो हमने नेपोली से देखा था वो उससे भी बेटर था। सो आर्सेनल मतलब एक ऐसे बार्गेन डील किया है कि भाई दे दे नो हाउ टू यूटिलाइज जॉर्जिनो। एंड मतलब वो मतलब काम है, कंपोजर है, मतलब वो लॉन्ग बॉल से स्विच कर सकता है, ही कैन गो थ्रू प्रोसेस, ही कैन इवन डू सम डिफेंसिव वर्क्स टू। सो आर्सेनल आर्सेनल को मतलब एक अच्छा प्लेयर जरूर मिला है, बट चेल्सी का देखना पड़ेगा भाई, क्योंकि उन्होंने मतलब अभी तक एंजो फर्नांडिस का डील मतलब ही इज नॉट एट फाइनल स्टेज। और लगता नहीं मुझे कि एंजो इस विंटर विंटर मोड में जाएगा, क्योंकि रूई कोस्टा के भाई मतलब वो तो आड़ा आड़ा पे कि इफ यू डू इन दिस, आई थिंक 6 या 7 6 से कम इंस्टॉलमेंट्स में उसको पेमेंट चाहिए, और वो चेल्सी नहीं तय कर पा रही है। सो चेल्सी यार मतलब भाई तो बड़ा घर है उनका।
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I asked you about Jorginho, and like Ojasbai says, Jorginho, if recovers form, can be a beast along with Odegaard and Zaka. I mean, yeah, you have three profiles of midfielders complementing each other very nicely. This could be a very good midfield trio if at all Jorginho does recover form. But again, I've spoken to a couple of Arsenal fans, and there is a little bit of a mixed reaction among them. While some believe that he is a good profile of a midfielder, uh, what some of them feel that this is along the line of Arsenal buying old players from Chelsea. We've seen them go for David Luiz, we've seen them go for Willian. Both of those signings did not work the way that they wanted them to. And now Jorginho is a third in the line of that. And they have their trepidations about the fact that this could be another flop signing. But all we can do is wait and see. So Ojasbai says Benfica want the amount in the next 3-4 years and not 7-8 years. Let's talk about Enzo a bit. Weber, let's talk about Enzo a bit. So 105 million pounds, which will be a British record, which will eclipse Grealish if it does happen. 120 million euros is the release clause. Chelsea were ready to pay 115 million, but they want it staggered, and Benfica do not want it staggered. Do you think that this deal has the potential to get completed by deadline today, or do you think that this is a deal that could stretch into the summer? And most importantly, uh, do you think that Enzo to Chelsea actually makes sense?
I may be in the minority here, but I do think Enzo to Chelsea makes sense. I mean, look, well, I can see Abhijit by shaking his head. Look, I think they've let go of Jorginho. Kante is pretty injury prone. You don't know when he's going to be back. Kovacic is not the same, I think. He's also, what, 31, 32. Got very less years left in the contract. So I can see where Chelsea is, coming from. They want to, sort of reinforce in that midfield, right? They don't want to really end up like Liverpool. I can see that. I can see the reasons why. As to they desperately want to sign Enzo Fernandez, right? But I think 120 million, as good as a player he is, I mean, if you give me option today, eyes closed, I'm going to take Enzo Fernandez. But again, 120 million is absolutely ridiculous. But if it's my priority signing, if it's like if Potter tells you know what, I need Enzo Fernandez at I don't care, just get me Enzo Fernandez to save the season. I am going to get Enzo Fernandez because in January there are too many people looking at midfielders. Liverpool will surely go for a midfielder, right? There are talks that Real Madrid may go for Jude Bellingham. So who knows if they do not get Jude Bellingham? I mean, either Liverpool or Real Madrid will go for. I mean, get Jude Bellingham. So one of them may go for Enzo Fernandez.
Even
Arsenal
Manchester City.
desperately wanted. Yeah, Man City. Man City is there. Arsenal desperately wanted Caicedo. What's stopping them from go? I mean, what's stopping them from getting Enzo Fernandez? And again, United, we also want a midfielder. We're also in the market. Newcastle, if they get top four, they can sell a good project. So I think I sort of get why Chelsea is so desperate. I think they realize that if they wait for summer, it may be too late. He may go to some other place, some other club. And I mean, look, Chelsea's situation is not good, right? Top four is looking very, very bleak. At this rate, I don't think even Europa is pretty much hard for them. So that project does not seem that exciting. Whereas, I mean, if there's a Newcastle with Champions League in hand, you tend to be inclined towards them, and with all the money that will come with that package. So I think
Vaibhav
Chelsea.
bhai, even you see the deal has started from 10th January at only just starting of the transfer window, and they haven't realized the stance of Rui Costa कि भाई बेचेगा या नहीं बेचेगा. दे लास्ट मोमेंट कल तो लग रहा था कि भाई दे विल बी ऑन द फाइनलाइजिंग ऑफ एंजो फर्नांडिस डील, बट आज जब 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 ये सुबह न्यूज आती है कि भाई दे आर नो दे वांट द पेमेंट इन अर्ली स्टेज, भाई चेल्सी शुड हैव क्लियर्ड भाई, मतलब ऐसे बोलते कि भाई हाँ ठीक है भाई 80 मिलियन में दे दो, 85 मिलियन में दे लो, ऐसा मतलब दे वर प्रोलॉन्गिंग द डील एक्चुअली. तो
I think look, Chelsea. I think उसके साथ एक important चीज है ना कि Chelsea bought so many players this January transfer window. So Chelsea probably thought कि what, let's just excuse the Enzo Fernandez deal for now. Let's just focus on other deals, right? I mean, I complain a lot about United doing this. We focus literally on one player for the whole transfer window, and then in the end, it's just a match scramble. So I think what Chelsea decided to do was, what, let's put brakes on Enzo Fernandez, or what, let's just wait till the summer probably,
हाँ
and then we should buy him and let's focus on other targets. But I don't know what has changed in the middle. Maybe some internal scoop or something. I don't know what has changed that they've gone back in for Enzo
नहीं
Fernandez pretty
वैभव
fast.
भाई, ऐसा है कि रूई कोस्टा का मतलब मैं भी थोड़ा पोर्चुगल का देख रहा था कि दे आल्सो नो दैट समर में अगर एंजो मतलब समर तक रहेगा एंजो फर्नांडिस, दे विल गेट अ डायरेक्ट पेमेंट टू, मतलब कोई तो मतलब क्लब आएगा कि भाई डायरेक्ट पेमेंट भी कर सकता है इन 1 or 2 years, ऐसा भी कोई हो सकता है. बट चेल्सी आर स्ट्रेचिंग टू 6 or 7 8, मतलब जो अमोर्टाइजेशन का जो ये मतलब रूल है वो यूज कर रहे हैं कि भाई इंस्टॉलमेंट में नहीं, and that is not benefiting for Benefica. So they want the direct payments like 120 है तो 120 पूरा दे दो. So उनको पता है कि भाई कोई ना कोई तो क्लब समर में आएगा उनको ले लेगा, दे नो. तो आई थिंक मतलब ये एक उस सिचुएशन में आ गए कि भाई रुकते हैं जस्ट आओ, मतलब ब्राइटन ने जब जैसे कैसिडो को मतलब रोक दिया कि भाई नहीं, प्लेयर कैन नॉट बी अबाउ द क्लब, इवन ही गोस टू सोशल मीडिया एंड डू दैट एवरीथिंग, पोस्ट एवरीथिंग, लेकिन फिर भी जर्बी मतलब बोला कि नहीं भाई ही विल स्टे इन द टिल समर. तो दैट हैज गिवन कॉन्फिडेंस टू रूई कोस्टा कि भाई रुकते देखते कोई अच्छा पेमेंट सोल्यूशन मिलेगा तो कोई कोई मना कौन कर सकता है.
Hmm.
Yeah, I
Delhi,
mean, yeah, go on.
I actually have a question for you here. Where was it? I just saw this. Just 1 second. Okay. Do you think? Sabitzer in this whole setup, do you think how important Sabitzer as a deadline day signing is going to be? Do you think it will be easy for him because he won't really come under that much of pressure, right? Because people have been mostly talking about Arsenal and Jorginho and what Chelsea's been up to and all that. So do you think that is a bit of a positive for Sabitzer? That he wouldn't really be in that scrutiny because we've seen with the likes of Igalo and Alexis Sanchez how much of a scrutiny and pressure they were under.
So for me, I'm pretty happy about the Sabitzer deal that it's happening. I mean, although it took an Ericsson injury to, for us to whole and soul delve into the market to look for a prospective midfielder, the fact that we've gone for someone like a Sabitzer who at 28 is still in his prime, let's not forget, it could represent a very good coup for us. And just in case if they decide that come the course of the summer, he puts in a great shift, a great 6 months, and then it comes to the summer where we have to make sure that we would want to buy him. A price of anywhere between 50 to 20 million euros is not a bad price at all for someone who by the end of the season becomes accustomed to Eric Ten Hag's methods, Eric Ten Hag's way, and it's not that different like how Nagelsmann used to play at Leipzig, for example, or even say Bayern at the moment. Although he's not getting the results that are expected of him at a club like Bayern, uh, As far as scrutiny is concerned, I mean, every United player is going to come under scrutiny, no matter how much it is. I mean, take the rumor only, for example, when the news came out that United were going to Sabitzer, the likes of Talksport already started their agenda that this is going to be a panic signing, this is not going to be a signing that's going to work, so on and so forth. Merson gave his opinions about the fact. I mean, and for me, Merson's opinions mean jack shit to me. But yeah, the talk has already started that how Sabitzer is going to be a failure at Old Trafford. So there is going to be criticism for every signing, no matter if we make a low key signing or if we make a marquee signing as well. But I think with the likes of Sabitzer, he has experience under his belt. He was part of the Leipzig team that did make the Champions League semi-finals. He was a part of arguably the best Leipzig team in a long time as well. So he does know how to get his way. He does know how to get those things done. And he is a character on the field as well. So Sabitzer brings in quality, helps us to beef up our midfield. There is nothing to not like about this signing, actually. While he's not a like for like replacement as far as Ericsson is concerned, one thing that he has over Ericsson is that he'll be able to give us 90 minutes on a whole. Which was not the case with Ericsson, considering the health issues that he has. Ericsson does tire. Ericsson is not a player that you can give 90 minutes in any game. And the fact that we did give 90 minutes to him in an Arsenal game spoke about how thin we are in midfield options. Marcel Sabitzer is a player that can play 90 game in, game out. And you spoke about him not playing the World Cup and not having a lot of game time. It could also work in our favor considering the fact that he comes to us relatively fresh. So Sandeep Bhai, Marcel Sabitzer is going to be a loan for now. Both clubs are actually if reports are to be believed, both clubs are currently discussing on the clauses required, whether it's going to be an obligation or whether it's going to be an option to buy in the summer. But as of now, for all intents and purposes, Marcel Sabitzer is going to be a loan.
I think we seem to have problem with Dellin's network. Um, okay.
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, okay.
So as far as the Enzo situation is concerned, what I was saying is, if at all Benfica do manage to hold Enzo in January, I wholly see him coming to United in the summer. I definitely see Enzo to United becoming a genuine possibility. Kushagra says United and Barcelona have had contacts for Anthony Alanga, but a deal will not happen. I mean, I think at this point, letting Elanga go would be an issue, and it would be a problem considering that we do not have a lot of squad depth. Another major transfer that has happened and happened seemingly out of the blue, which took us by surprise, was Joao Cancelo to Bayern Munich. Uh, so when initially the news did break out that Joao Cancelo would be going to Bayern Munich, I thought that it was someone taking a piss and this is not going to happen. But it has happened. Abhijit bhai, what are your thoughts on Joao Cancelo going to Bayern? And do you think City sending out one of their best players on loan at the middle of the season, do you think it hampers their chances of challenging for the Premier League? What do you make of the Cancelo situation on the whole?
Okay, the Jao Cancelo situation started when the Liverpool game happened. I think तब से fallout होना शुरू किया. I think that was the starting point of that saga of Jao Cancelo fallout with the with the Pep. So it also happened after in Arsenal games when he when Pep announced that he is not playing in the starting 11, and he literally had a word with him that why are not starting with me. So that started started the fallout. Uh, so at last we that the player cannot be over the club. So that strategy has been applied, and that is the जो player क्लब से ऊपर है, he is not he is not going to be. आप टीम प्लेयर होना चाहिए, मतलब he has to be a team player. And and that has done, मतलब जाओ कैंसलो was frustrated. Even बहुत सारे rumors आ रहे हैं कि भाई कि all players, some players are have been fall out, but जाओ कैंसलो to Bayern मतलब भाई win-win situation for Bayern. Actually, Joao Cancelo is the one of the top fullback of Europe, and City, depending on I think Lewis, Rico Lewis and something, उसका Gomez है, I think they both players. I don't see that the कोई sense नहीं बनता, लेकिन but I think they have Jeopardy that they can't depend on Ake, because Ake is injury prone and you can't depend on him. बचता भाई फिर मतलब ये रिको लुइस और गोमेज. So Gomez is decent. Lewis is still has a not game time, but but Pep has something in his mind that he can do something. Uh, he can change the formation and he can bring back, but it definitely will hamper some kind of in fullbacks, कि भाई जाओ कैंसेलो जैसा मतलब प्लेयर इज गोइंग टू बायन, मतलब बायन के लिए तो भाई विन विन सिचुएशन. भाई एक और बात ये है कि पेप हैज रियली ट्रांसपोर्ट जाओ कैंसेलो. भाई जुवेंटिस में तो जब था वो, मतलब कोई पूछता भी नहीं था भाई कौन है ये जाओ कैंसेलो. व्हेन ही केम टू पेप एंड ही रियली ट्रांसफॉर्म पेप. पेप के वजह से ही वो आज मतलब इतने हाइट्स पे है. ही हैज वन सम सो मेनी ट्रॉफीज हियर. But you disrespecting manager doesn't make sense, and you have to face the consequences.
Weber, what are your thoughts on what were your initial reactions on when the rumors came out, and then when you seen the deal is actually a reality? What was your thought? And do you think that this could actually have a negative impact on City's season, considering that Cancelo has been one of their best players in the course of the last 2 to 2.5 years?
Look, initially, like I do not follow City a lot. Like I do not. I mean, I do not go for City scoops, so I really didn't know much about what was this conflict between Pep and Cancelo. But when I heard it and when I dwelled deep into it, I was pretty impressed, to be very honest with you, because he's just here we have a manager in Pep Guardiola. You know, I mean, no matter he's a rival, he's been absolutely amazing for Man City, right? He's the boss, and he's just shown his authority there. The likes of Mourinho and the likes of Sir Alex have done it. It's not the first time Pep has done it. Pep even sent Zlatan Ibrahimovic from Arsenal. I mean, from Barca, he kicked him out literally. So I sort of get where Pep is coming from. It's the way how he functions. You know, could it jeopardize City's season? Well, look, City is a team. I don't think City is a one-man team, to be very honest with you. Like if we decided, what, Rashford is being a prick, what, let's just send him away to loan or something, it would jeopardize our season, right? But I think with Man City, I think they have got good cover, back there. They've got Walker and other players, who could play there. It could go both ways, I mean, as a manager, I could look into it and say, what, that player was the negative energy. You all are my trusted allies. You all are here who will take me to the title billion, and that may just fuel me up a bit more, right? I mean, here's a manager. If I'm a Kyle Walker, I would be thinking, what? Here's a manager who's shown tremendous faith in me or the fullbacks, so much so that he's got rid of the best fullback just for me. So that could just spur me up a bit, right? I mean, but again, I mean, with Arsenal being so relentless, and let's not forget, Man City is not way ahead of third and fourth. I do think it's kind of stupid move, but Pep Guardiola is a genius. So, I mean, it's just got two ends of the coin. It's either going to be heads or tails. It's either going to be very good or very bad. Just that.
Do you think the transfer works for Bayern? Do you think that this is a transfer which makes sense for Bayern? Like, I mean, it's all fun games that a player is gone, but with a crucial Champions League fixture coming up for Bayern against PSG, do you think that Cancelo is the right transfer, considering the fact that they have been way too stagnant in attack?
Well, to be very honest with you, nothing would make me more happy than Joe Cancelo scoring the winning goal against Man City. JK, that's not going to happen. Look, it does make a lot of sense. Cancelo, whatever we may say about him, he's a quality player, right? Gravenberg hasn't been that too good for them at the right back situation. So I think I sort of get it why Byron is looking at this sort of a deal. Cancelo very good attacking wise. The problem with Bayern has been this season is they haven't got that outright striker, right? That outright number nine. How Lewandowski used to score the goals. They haven't got somebody like that. And that's been a bit of a struggle, right? I mean, they were looking at Harry Kane and all that stuff. So I think if Bayern are thinking, what, attacking wise, we're gonna get João Cancelo who could whip in the crosses and create more chances. I mean, look, for Champions League games with the kind of experience he brings, I think it would be a good signing for them.
I mean, fair enough. Kushagra asked thoughts on Arsenal's reinforcement. I think considering the fact that Partey got injured, they acted swiftly, and I personally believe that Jorginho is a signing that fits their profile. Uh, I think when Arteta was at City, he was the one who forwarded the prospect of Jorginho signing for City. He wanted Jorginho to be the fulcrum of that City midfield. Unfortunately, things did not go well there. But I think after a couple of years or so, he's finally got his man, and I think Jorginho could be tailor-made for Arsenal, with like we spoke earlier about three profiles of midfielders coming in together, and if it clicks, it will click spectacularly. Although another problem would be that Jorginho passes a bit too sideways for its own good. So that's something that needs to be seen. But however, I think Jorginho is a pretty good signing on the face of it. If you were to ask me now, I think yeah, Jorginho is a good signing. Brings in a lot of experience. Has won the Champions League with Chelsea. So yeah, that's there. And yeah, and he's also won the Euros with Italy. Not to forget. So yeah, I think he'll bring in a lot of pedigree into that midfield. If you ask me. Abhijit, let's talk about the another top four rival that is there with us, and that's Newcastle United. Newcastle United have done a couple of intelligent signings, one of them being Anthony Gordon. I personally have my doubts on Anthony Gordon because paying 40 million for someone who's only scored seven goals in his career in the past 1.5 season, I think it's a little too overpriced. But what do you think? Do you think Anthony Gordon to Newcastle is the right move, or for both player and for the club? Because Newcastle are pretty blessed in both the positions. If you see, they do have what you say. They do have
Joelinton.
Saint Max, Joe Linton. They have Saint Maximan. They have Almiron. Then they have Jacob Murphy. Then also they have Joe Willock, who can play in the wing. So it's a pretty well stocked options on the wing. And then you get an Anthony Gordon. What do you make of the signing? Do you think, first of all, was it the correct signing for Newcastle? And do you think Gordon works in the Newcastle setup?
Uh, I think Eddie Howe has idea that we should go, lethal in the attack, and that is I'm sensing that by what Eddie Howe thinks, and given the fact that the both all the players have even their attacker, I don't know his name. Uh, okay, I'm not really on that. Okay, that all the attack with the way Gordon brings in that he can dribble past it, and he is very lethal in the box. When he comes come past the defender, and he can cross the ball into the nets, which I think lacks only. I think their right winger. I'm not getting the name of him. Uh, can you help me for that?
It's who Newcastle
Newcastle right winger. My
Almiron,
mind is
no.
yes, Almiron. Yes, Almiron. Only Almiron can do that something, but they lacked in in the left wing. So Anthony Gordon can do just like he can take the ball into his feet. He can stretch the midfield, but but he's little predictable, as you see, because he has not been properly coached by in Everton. You have see Rafa Bennett. I think he was uh, in that in that coaching, but he's not well versed in that coaching actually. So I think Anthony Gordon to Newcastle does make sense, but it will be interesting to see how he has been utilized, because there are not so much injured players there. But looking at the fact that how he will be utilized and how will be lethal to use him, that will be interesting. But he is a promising player. He can take those shots and bang into the goal. He is a threat in the box as well, and even in the web. He's also great, good in counter attacks. When you put a ball through over the pass to the defense, and he can make those runs. So uh, Newcastle really needs some reinforcement. Given that Isaac, yes, I got the name. Isaac can is little thinking of injury prone, but uh, yes, Newcastle can tackle that problem of attack. It's a reinforcement in attack, I would say.
So wherever we spoke about Anthony Gordon from a Newcastle perspective, let us talk about it in a little from an Everton perspective. So now it's two straight windows that Everton have lost two of their prized players. Richarlison went in the summer transfer window, and now Gordon's gone. They are precariously placed as far as the relegation battle is concerned. Lampard has been sacked. Sean Dyche has been bought in as a replacement, and they and with they also precariously seated on the FFP point of things. Do you think that this is the final straw for Everton as far as Gordon's sale is concerned? Do you think that they are already, and is Sean Dyche a last roll of the dice for them to, get safe from as far as relegation is concerned?
Look, I think with the kind of players Everton have, in spite of losing their stars, I do think they're better than, I mean, they do have better qualities than a relegation battle players. Let's be very honest. Um, with the likes, I mean, it was just bad appointment with Lampard. He's a clueless manager. To be very honest with you, I felt it was not a good move. I felt maybe they should have gone for a Potter or somebody like that. um, I don't think it's the final straw for Everton. They have got good quality players. Good quality players in a sense, like they are good mid-table players, right? I mean, it's just that they have been underperforming very badly. They have been terrible this season. I mean, if you talk about Iwobi, Mope, Cody, Pickford, Tarkowski, McNeil, Demari Gray. I mean, they are decent players, right? I think with Sean Dyche coming in, I do see a blinker. I mean, I do see a glimmer of hope for them. Because Sean Dyche is a sort of a manager who's expert in these relegation battles. He's literally kept Burnley up for what 7 to 8 years. That's like a very very big miracle. With the kind of budget restraints he had back there. Um, Controversial here, but I do think now that they have appointed Sean Dyche, I do think Everton would stay up. I think Everton were just not good under Lampard, who's a bang average manager. I do think Sean Dyche is a relegation expert, like Sam Allardyce. He does play a very counter-attacking style of play in Burnley, but I mean, he's got better set of players than what he had in Burnley. So I do see a positive impact for Everton, right? And let's not forget, Everton are not in any, Everton. I don't think they're in. Is Everton there in FA Cup?
No.
Yeah. So Everton are just
We
focused
beat
on.
them. We beat
Yes,
them.
we
We
beat
beat
it.
them.
Oh yes, yes, yes. So Everton has just got the league to focus on now. You know, so I can't see a way for Everton. I do see a way for Everton. And with the way Chelsea and Liverpool are playing, and you never know when the bubble would burst for the likes of Brentford and Fulham. You just never know. Everton might smell blood and go for the kill. I mean, Deitch is expert in those nil-nil, 1-1, those draws, right? He's just expert in accumulating those, really pissing off points, or just sneaky 1-0 goal. So yeah, I do feel Everton has got a very good chance of staying up.
So there are rumors coming in that even Bernardo Silva wants to leave. Looks like there are problems in City's paradise, and they are finally coming out. I mean, initially there were further reports saying that Kyle Walker, Gundogan, and even Bernardo Silva were not happy under Pep, and now it seems that it's the situation in City is coming to a head. Kushagra with me on stream. Kushagra, welcome. Hope you're doing well. So Kushagra, let's talk a little bit about City. City have already lost Cancelo, who's been one of their best players, to Bayern, and now rumors are coming out that even Bernardo Silva wants to follow suit and he wants to leave. And Bernardo's desire to leave City has not been a secret. He wanted to leave last year as well, but then he did not get the opportunity, and he, out of respect for the club, decided to stay. But now the reports are coming out that he wants to leave and on an immediate basis. Do you think that there are genuine problems currently going in Man City, or do you think this is just a smokescreen?
See, actually, I do think that they actually do have like some problems. I mean, if you take out Haaland's goals, right, they are in like very like deep trouble because all of their starmen, they are not really like performing at the level that we like used to like seeing them. As talking about the transfers, I think like uh, the Cancelo one was like coming for like quite a time because I think we like seen like a pattern that Pep was not like playing him. I think all of us had got out of him from our FPL as well. As to the start of the season, he was one of the most common assets that everyone had in their FPL teams. And as for like Bernardo Silva, I remember him being linked last year as well. I'm sorry guys, my electricity has just got out. Apologies. Yeah, so like as I was saying that I think City do have some issues, but I think their academy is like very strong, and obviously they have like the backing of the sheikhs. So I don't think that they'll have any problem in like breaking the bank. But as for like the remainder of the season, I think with the squad that they have like enough like depth in it. So they should be able to like meet the targets that they have for their.
So you do believe that this will not have a negative impact on City's season throughout the rest of the season, because considering the fact that they are
I mean,
in
see,
key
it's not like
competitions.
so it's not really like good for like the dressing room, right? Because if like the players are not like gelling up with the manager, so that's not a good sign. But as I said, with the squad depth that they have and with the like the quality of their academy, I don't think that they should have any issues.
Yep, fair enough. Considering all things said and done, Avjita, another signing that has been completed is that I think Spurs have pretty much sealed the signing of Pedro Porro from Sporting Lisbon. It looks like that deal is almost done. What do you make of the signing, and do you think that makes Spurs that a little bit more tougher to beat?
No, I would say, but Pedro Porro to Spurs is good. I think they wanted a fullback, and Pedro Porro just fulfills all the needs of what Conte needs. Actually, first you have to know that कि Conte का जो attack है is always gone from fullbacks. So उसका attack ही वहाँ से start होता है. So Pedro Porro is definitely a prominent signing for Conte. They needed a player. I think he's a right back, if I'm not wrong. Yes.
I think he can play even as a midfielder. I'm not sure though. Yeah.
Okay. If I'm not wrong, if I'm wrong, then you just correct me. But I think he's a good right back. And looking at Emerson Royal, doesn't fulfilling his position in that, and the failing, the signing of Dijon Spence failing. So Pedro Porro, really makes sense to Spurs, and adding that attack. They have Perisic in left, so that will not hinder their attack in the left. But at the right side, they need someone who can uh, contribute in the attacks. Kulusevski cannot alone do everything in his way, and even Bentancur, and they are okay. They will handle the situation in the midfield. But what about fullbacks? They need someone. someone there, and Pedro Porro has that potential to be a good signing for Spurs.
So Pedro Porro initially is a loan, but that could become permanent in the summer. So Sandeep bhai, talking about Spurs, while the Pedro Porro deal is still in its final stages, there have been a
Delvin,
couple of
sorry, I'm
outgoings.
really sorry to interrupt you, Delvin. Simon Stone has just like tweeted that the Sabitzer deal, it will be like a loan deal, so we're not gonna sign him for a permanent deal.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I
Simon
think
Stone has
that
like
was
just confirmed that.
yeah. Yeah, I think that was pretty evident. I don't think we were going to be in the market for a permanent signing. It was. I think the only thing that is going to happen is that both the clubs were in the process of deciding the clauses, whether it should be an option to buy or whether it should be an obligation to buy in the summer. That is what we spoke earlier.
I
So
just
yeah,
have
I
one
Don't
think
question.
mind either. I don't mind
don't
either.
mind either, yeah. But we don't have the cash to do the second option. So I think we'll have to be satisfied with the loan as of now.
Just one question, Delvin Bhai. If you see the season of Bayern Munich, Gravenberch has not got so much minutes. He has played some, but
Yeah,
he's not minutes.
yes, but
Yes, Sabitzer has got. Sabitzer,
they're not willing to sell Gravenberg. So we went into Bayern with the expectation of both of them. But and Gravenberg was our first priority, but then Bayern were pretty reluctant to let him go even on a loan. So I think they do have plans with as far as Gravenberg is concerned. But I think they saw Sabitzer a little surplus to requirements, and I think works well for both clubs. Sabitzer gets playing time. I think no player would want to waste their peak years on the bench, and Sabitzer is one of those players. At 28, he is right in the center of his peak.
if you surprised, Delvin by last year under Ralf Rangnick, after Dennis Zakaria, it was Sabitzer who was linked for United, and Ralf Rangnick was desperate to sign him. If it was just, and even after Frankie De Jong, he was the player that we were thinking of taking Sabitzer, but Julian Nagelsmann took a one step further and he signed Sabitzer. Sabit people bantering that is not okay, he's not that, but he is definitely an upgrade for Christian Eriksen. He the way he defends, he's press resistant, takes the ball forward. He has the ability to take the shot of banger of a goal. He can do that, and he can link up. Playing with Casemiro, then he just I think he can flourish in a way much more that we want. Christian Eriksen, he has not that in much intensity, just like Sabitzer. Sabitzer, he can go for a tackle. He does a illusion when he can मतलब ऐसा करता है कि भाई जा रहा है मतलब लेफ्ट को मतलब पीछे से फिर से आता है और राइट में जाके टैकल करता है. He can illusion of mid defensive opposition. Even he can जब हम काउंटर पे आते हैं, he can go जब हम मतलब players take that मतलब क्या बोलते हैं आप we are on the counter attack and we are on the flow. He quickly goes and takes the ball and he was in the opposition box. So Sabitzer जैसा player we needed, and मतलब सोने पे सुहागा है भाई. कोई मतलब उसके बारे में बात ही नहीं कर रहा है भाई. Sabitzer is a very very good signing.
Yeah, fair enough, Abhijit bhai. So Weber, let's talk about Spurs. Okay, so we've already spoken about Pedro Porro coming in. They've had a couple of outgoings. Let's talk about one of them, and that's Jet Spence. So Jet Spence has gone off to Rennes in Liga, and I think it was when Jet Spence was rumored to, when it was when there were talks going on, United were among the front runners, and then Spurs sneaked in and signed him. Do you think that was Jet Spence actually required for Spurs in the first place, if you speak? Because then you see Emerson Royal was given time at right back, Matt Doherty was given time at right back, but Jet Spence wasn't given enough minutes to play there. So automatically that made it a very uncomfortable prospect for him. And at 25, what do you make of the Spence situation? And do you think does he have a future at Spurs?
To be very honest with you, Dylan, I was actually quite excited with the prospect of Spence coming to United. I was because of Jimmy Gardner, I was following Nottingham Forest last season, and Spence was absolutely amazing. I mean, with the way he was playing in the Championship, I absolutely thought, what, this kid is a different gravy altogether. I thought, a move to Spurs under Conte, Champions League, it's a pretty good move for the kid. But I don't know what's gone wrong with him. I mean, definitely Conte must have seen something in him which he feels is, missing so to play in that level. I mean, I just don't know how Emerson Royal, gets into the playing 11 or even gets a 1 minute game time. I mean, with all due respect to him, I think he's the worst right back I've ever seen. So I don't know. Yeah. I mean, maybe Conte thinks he needs a bit more time. Maybe he thinks he is not quite the right match to adapt to the league right now. He is a good quality player, but uh, look, Tottenham are a club in shambles, so I do not really see what could be next for him. With the way he's played in the Championship with Nottingham Forest, I do see a future for him in a good Premier League side. I think somewhere in a Brighton, he could have been very, very good. Um, I do see him coming back to Spurs, though. To be very honest with you, I can see Emerson Royal going out, and maybe DJ Spence gets that option up front. But a lot would depend on what Conte thinks of him, or if Conte is even there. As they say with Spurs, everything about them is highly unpredictable, just like the weather.
I think it's been like decided that Antonio Conte will be like leaving Spurs at the end of the season, right? I think I read about it a few days back.
If it's if it's not
Not
decided,
official, but unofficial.
if it's not decided, Conte is going to leave anyways. He doesn't need any confirmation. He doesn't need anything to say. I think he's had enough of this club by the looks of it. And on the looks of it, I did not think Jet Spence was a Conte signing after all, because I heard him in a conference saying that it's fine, it's not fine, it's something related to that. So it did not exude a lot of confidence in the first place. Sandeep, another departure from Spurs that has gone was Matt Doherty. He's gone to Harambol Madrid on loan. That's Atletico, and that's another player in a long line of thugs to go to Atletico Madrid. I mean, do you think that move does make sense for Doherty in any way? Because I think they've already got a Spurs player in Trippier, and that worked out pretty well for both parties involved.
Yeah,
What do you make of the Doherty loan to Spurs? Atletico, sorry.
yeah. So deep lying, five at the back or maybe three at the back. Yeah, but Doherty makes sense. I think Simeone would love. Simeone loves, physical kind of a player, and Matt Doherty is quite that. Matt Doherty embodies that, and uh, they particularly not very ball playing, attacking. So Atletico fits Atletico again. I think Matt Doherty could have stayed in the Prem. I think Atletico play. I'm not sure how much he will be getting play time. Like who is there at Atletico right now? I'm not even sure. But I wonder how much play time he will get. So, but it makes sense as well as what I would say. Like Sabitzer coming to United makes sense because he fits the system, and I think of all the transfers that I did not see Matt Doherty being loaned out this season. To be very fair, to be very honest.
Alright. Moses Bhai, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. So one of the things that that's recently developed is that Nicolo Zaniolo was very very close to joining Bournemouth, but then Bournemouth themselves pulled the plug out of the deal because of the fact that they have spent a lot of money on other operations as well. So my question to you on this regard is: do you think that the Premier League is the biggest super league in the world right now? Like, because of the way that the things are going through, it seems that everything is running through the Premier League. So what do you make of it?
I read a joke on the Twitter that If 25 years ago someone told both the Milan teams that they will be losing a transfer to Bournemouth, they wouldn't have believed it, because the Bournemouth had the money ready and both the Milan teams were not financially able to pull off this deal. But I don't know about the Super League, but right now the money involved in this league is quite high. Even broadcasting rights of lower leg teams also are so many in millions that they're easily able to cover up these type of transfers. And Bournemouth always knew what they needed. They are in a battle at the bottom, and just never looked like the transfer was going to happen. I don't know what is the truth behind it failing or whatever happening. Truth be told, I think Mourinho for so many years is in this department. He would have told Zaniolo, if you are going from Roma, Bournemouth is not the place to go. There must have been some talks between the management and Zaniolo where he wants to move. The agent would have talked. Somehow this deal never makes sense, because Zaniolo, although he fell off from Roma, he is not a bad player. He surely deserves better than Bournemouth. If it was a loan deal, maybe, but a permanent transfer from Roma to Bournemouth, just, I don't know, it didn't make sense. You guys must have your own opinion, you will tell me, but for me it didn't make sense.
So breaking news coming out, I think from Sky Sports News, saying that Chelsea have prepared everything there is for a medical for Enzo Fernandez.
Yeah.
Looks like
And
that deal
another
finally.
another is Moises Caicedo to Arsenal is off right now.
Yeah, I was actually going to speak about that. Speaking about Caicedo, do you think that had the Jorginho deal not happened so fast, Sandeep, I'll put this to you. Had the Jorginho deal not happened so fast, uh, I mean, do you think the Caicedo deal would have happened? Caicedo to Arsenal at the price point
I
that
don't.
Brighton were quoting.
Yeah, exactly. That is the point I would like to like say that if Brighton had accepted 60 to 70 million kind of a figure, then might be they would have gone for it and done it. But I think Arsenal would not be ready to pay crazy money like Chelsea, like 100 million for Mudryk, although they were ready to pay that. I don't think they would not. I don't think they would have gone above 70 guaranteed to Brighton. And Moises Caicedo is a very good player, but I think this transfer rates, like the prices are broken, man. I mean, seriously, like we broke the transfer prices because when we gave 85 million pounds for Anthony, I think everywhere prices skyrocketed in the Premier League and people coming to
We
Premier
broke
League
it.
and we
I think the transfer market was inflated 6 years ago when Neymar moved to
Neymar,
PSG.
Neymar,
I
yeah,
don't think
me
we
too,
have
too.
done anything. I don't think we have done anything to break the transfer window
No, I
or
think it
the
has been
transfer
revitalized.
market.
Let's say it has been revitalized. I mean,
It's
uh,
not changed. It's not changed since the Neymar. It's since the
uh,
Neymar
true.
deal.
I
Everything
agree.
is
I
changed.
agree.
Yeah,
I
it's
I
not
take your point.
us.
I take
It's
your
not
point.
us.
I take your point, but I mean, Premier League moves this winter transfer window, summer transfer window. I mean, Chelsea have been acting like crazy. He's like the kid in the supermarket with the new stepdad who is ready to spend hundreds of dollars on just candies and crisps and everything, and they are just going out and getting. I want this. I want that. I want this. I want that. Oh, that boy is having that one. I want that one. So
The
it's
the,
been a crazy
the correct
efficient.
term the correct term you're looking for is sugar daddy.
Sugar daddy, yeah, Todd Burley, sugar daddy. So I mean, I was picturing a little child, not for sugar daddy. But anyway, so I mean, they are in the supermarket like going crazy. I want this Mars bar, I want this five-star. I mean, they're getting everything, and kudos to them too that for getting the deals over the line. I mean, it's not easy, Their board has been acting quite well and quite fast, and you can only be jealous of Chelsea. I mean, अगर हमारे साथ हो रहा था, हम लोग obviously हम लोग को अच्छा ही लगता, ठीक है. पता नहीं नेक्स्ट समर पे क्या होगा, बट थोड़ा डिसअरे में है, लेकिन the players they are picking up. I mean, those are like chances in the window, further windows also to
I just pray and hope Enzo doesn't happen today before 11 p.m. GMT. I just
So
I
pray
just
and
want
hope.
you say,
one
yeah,
one
exactly.
question.
Yeah,
One
yeah.
question. Ojit bhai, I will come to you also. Uh, मुझे एक बात बताओ, सभी बताओ, व्हाट इज द फैसिनेटिंग प्रोजेक्ट ऑफ चेल्सी? हमारा इतना भाई भाई इतना वर्ल्ड क्लास मैनेजर है, मतलब हमारा प्रोजेक्ट इतना इतना नीचे की और उनका इतना अच्छा है कि भाई मुद्रिक
Because
जैसा
they're spending the
प्लेयर,
money. Because
सो मेनी प्लेयर्स.
It's
we have
money. It's
it's
money,
money. See,
Abhijit bhai. Plain
we have
and
the better
simple,
manager.
it's money.
We have the better manager. We have the better, let's say, foundational players. We have the better foundational players. All of the team is new. They have to gel in. It's like the Galacticos of 2005 or 2004. Because although they were a super team, they did not win the They did not win the Champions League or anything like that. Later on, they won because when they had a good
Ojit
team
bhai, you
and
were
that.
saying, yeah, correct. Ojit bhai, you were saying something, yeah.
I was just saying on that point only when Sandeep Bhai said that. Sorry, you said that Neymar broke transfer window rules, whatever that existed. Actually, Neymar was the person who paid his release clause himself. For me, transfer window broke when they paid Mbappe 180 million Monaco. When they paid 180 million for Mbappe to Monaco. That was for me because 380 million on two players, 380 million on two players, and everything just and the Pogba fees that we paid. Somehow, the big clubs in the Europe like us, because we are the big club, and PSG deals going on with. I won't say Neymar because Neymar was eventually done in a very weird way, but Mbappe deal, yes, 180 million for Mbappe at that time, yes.
All right. So I have a very interesting question, and it involves looking at the summer project, for example. All of you can put in your views in. I'll start this with Kushagra though. Kushagra, now the news that has come that Juventus has officially been handed a 15-point deduction, and they currently find themselves 13th on the Serie A table, and they're almost 14 points away from Champions League places. Now, obviously, there's going to be a lot. This further inquiry. There have been petitions to make sure the UAR get are relegated from Syria as well. In this chaos, do you think there are players that you can look for as far as United is concerned? I personally believe that UA right now could have a lot of players, except a certain Paul Pogba, who I do not want to see ever again in a United shirt, or anywhere close to being linked to him, to us. Who do you think are the players that we should look for in the near future, as far as the UA side of things is concerned?
Yeah, so talking about like Paul Pogba, I think there were a few reports like a few days back that Pogba might be set for a sensational return to Man United. So the hashtag like Pogback was even like trending on like Twitter. But I think that was just for jokes, and that's not something that he would want. And obviously, we as United fans, we would never want him back at Old Trafford. Talking about the Juventus side, who is actually there who can like set a system? I think their striker like Blahovic, right? If I'm not wrong. I think Blahovic
Vlahovic
is.
and Locatelli also.
Vlahovic and Locatelli are the two players I would
But
go for.
I personally feel like Blahovic would be like the more ideal fit. But I think we were linked with him a lot. But I don't think there was any formidable bid or any substance to the rumors. So I don't think that we were really in for any of their players. But yeah, if like given a chance to sign one of their players, I would like definitely go for like Vlahovic. But I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon.
Delvin
So
Locatelli is
yeah,
not a Juventus player. He's still not a Juventus player. There is an
yeah, he's
obligation.
on loan. Yeah, but
Yeah.
he अभी पकड़ के चल लो कि यूवेंटस प्लेयर ही है बेसिकली
आपने
अभी.
that is because if the crisis that is going on with Juventus, whether they pull out the funds for the obligation to buy or something, because it is going to be very tough because scrutiny is available right now on them.
So Abhijit says that Fabrizio Romano's tweet, I'm going to say something on Enzo in a few minutes. Do you think that this is a year we go? Do you guys think that this is a year we go?
I don't think so.
I
Still,
mean, could be very,
I
very,
think
very,
the
very
deal is off
interesting.
probably.
Why is
I think
Fabrizio
like the
acting
deal
like
is off
Gerard
probably.
Romero? Why is
I
Fabrizio
think
talking like
See, nothing can beat things are happening. Just nothing. Nothing can
I
beat things are
mean,
happening.
today
I'm
I read
sorry.
today I read a tweet. Gerard Romero has written the 11 p.m. at Barcelona would be beautiful. I mean,
Yeah. So and
But to be fair
you
to
can say
Delvin, but like
yeah.
to be fair though, he was the first one who actually broke out like the Shenki De Jong news. So he was
yeah,
not like that off. He was like
true.
the first person who actually said that, there was a possibility of like Frankie De Jong happening to like United. So I won't really
Yes,
like
In
discard him like that, but obviously
that happened in
let's
95%
see.
April, I guess.
possibility.
Happened
You
in
mean
April after 10 was
95%?
confirmed.
You mean 95% possibility and not just a
95%.
possibility?
No, the tweet was FDJ to United is 95% done.
Nice. Done.
Things are
Exactly. Not
happening. Yeah, yeah.
things are.
No, the
I mean,
5% was the relationship with the FDJ and Barca. Na? 5% was the relationship between
Guys,
FDJ.
apparently, this is coming from Pletty Goal. Just came in that Sabitzer has been spotted in Munich airport by Pletty
yeah,
Goal.
it's only 50. I think it's about a matter of time that this deal gets done because it's only 15 minutes left for the German transfer window to
He
shut.
didn't also like train
Only
today as well, right? Like for
Yeah,
Bayern.
he
No,
did
he
So
didn't
not.
train.
Yeah, he did not train as well. So yeah, I think this is going to be done. I think but it's only. I think maybe just put in an announcement. If it is, just put in an announcement. Because I think once when the deadline is done, I think that would be an issue. It could be an issue as far as things are concerned to get things
You
done
know,
over the
one
line.
going off topic, just one thing. I like. I hate the English cricket team, but when Sam Billings he has tweeted to the Gravenberch, time to fly to United Manchester. I mean, I just
And
love this.
there are a lot of English cricketers who are United
Jofra
fans actually.
and
yeah, yeah,
Jofra Archer is pretty close to Marcus Rashford. In fact, they're
Marcus
good friends
Rashford. Yeah.
also. They're good friends
So,
also.
so
Sam Billings is a United fan.
if the transfer window with Germany closes, aren't there a week or 10 days to get? 48 hours to get the loan deals done.
Yes, I think there is a provision there. I think there is, but
So
Yes,
I'm not sure
the
whether
thing is that if German transfer window close, people like players cannot move into Germany, but from Germany you can go to other clubs also. I think that is a clause.
maybe yeah. There is a lot of
Sabitzer will,
confusion regarding that.
Sabitzer will be done when Eric Ten Hag calls a player. If you're not from Barca, it most probably gets done. It most probably gets done.
So
Talk
guys,
also,
about
like
I would
Gaurav Bhai, just like by talking about his stats, so he's only has like one goal and like one assist. So he's not,
But
a person.
he's played
Yeah,
less also. No, he's played what?
in like
He's only
15
started
games.
7 times.
I,
Started
Yeah,
7 times.
I,
24
I have,
games, 24 appearances I think he has had.
yeah, I've
Yeah,
seen
in
the
started
season
only
statistics
seven
15.
times.
that
Yeah,
are coming to Bayern Munich. Goretzka was one of the fittest center midfielders in the Bundesliga. He came to Bayern Munich in 1 or 2 years. He's injury prone. Okay, now Sabitzer, one of the best players for Leipzig,
yeah, yeah,
one of
yeah.
the best players for Leipzig, he got injury prone getting to Bayern Munich. Okay, Leimer, they're about to sign Leimer, who has now got injury issues for past 3 months. So every
So
player that is linked with Bayern Munich, I don't know what is happening because Sabitzer, what I remember of Sabitzer, he was a brilliant player at Leipzig, a brilliant player.
I think I know what has happened to all these players, and that's steroids. I mean, if you can't, if you look at Goretzka when he joined Bayern, and look at Goretzka what
Alfonso
12 to 8.
Davies.
I
Alfonso
mean,
Davies.
and
No,
even after that, Alfonso Davis had a heart issue. So I think it's something worth looking also, that all these players have joined Bayern. Even Sane, for that example, Sane looked buffed after a season at Bayern. So there is something with Bayern and PEDs. I don't know. I shouldn't be saying this out
अभिजीत
loud,
और
but
दया
yeah,
को पता लगाना पड़ेगा.
no, even Serge Gnabry is injury prone. Even Serge Gnabry, Kingsley Coman played continuously for PSG and Juventus. He was never injury prone. Come to Bayern Munich and he's suddenly now an injury prone player for them.
yeah. So
It,
sorry to cut you off, but Munawar Bhai has written on comments. Enzo Fernandez has been given permission to undergo a Chelsea medical. Sources in Portugal tell that there is heightened optimism that an agreement can be struck for Enzo to join Chelsea. Guys, looks like y'all all will be proven wrong after all, I guess. Enzo to Chelsea might be
I would
happening.
still say it's not happening.
Well, match story, as Fabrizio says, match story, match negotiation, but still on as things stand.
Okay,
Chelsea
so
insisting and
uh,
trying.
oh sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Atletico has tweeted Man United now in pole position to sign Sabitzer. Chelsea is still in, but United are favourites now. Player has arrived in airport in Munich right now.
Yeah,
So
so I
I
think
Chelsea are
it's going to be
going for
United
Sabitzer.
only.
Chelsea
I
won't
mean,
go for
what are Chelsea
Sabitzer.
doing, man? Come on.
No, no.
They
So there is one thing that I want to talk about, and that's Moises Caicedo. So he wanted to. He openly put out a transfer request on Facebook and on Instagram and on Twitter. Spoke about length about being the youngest of his 10 siblings. Wants to be proud of the fact that he brings the club record money. Ends up not getting the deal done.
Yeah,
What
Brighton.
is
Brighton is the Borussia Dortmund of Premier League. Brighton is
Premier.
Borussia
So,
Dortmund of.
Webov, my question to you is where does Caicedo go from here as far as Brighton is concerned? Because all things said and done, he's already alienated. I think he's alienated the fan base. And do you think that he gets regular playing time, especially considering that how things have panned out?
Look, I think this is where good man management comes in. Look, Brighton is a very good club, right? I'm sure there would be conversations with him. The manager would sit down with him, perhaps the board. I'm sure there would be a crystal clear understanding between him and the player, right? If I were Caicedo, I would have just said, you know what, fine. If you wanna throws me out of the squad, you can do it. But you have to let me go for what, 40 to 30 million, right? I'll play for you till the end of the season, right? But you let me go if a fee like that comes again from, perhaps a United or a Chelsea, or who knows, Arsenal may jump back in, right? I think in that way, that understanding needs to be there. But I mean, I don't know how much of an impact it's going to be, right? Because maybe he's burned his bridges with the manager, and maybe it's all about, what, let's get to summer, let's get rid of him at a very very good price. Or if I mean, I'm sort of looking at it, in both ways, how the team and the player can sort of benefit from the situation. Clearly there's a player who doesn't want to be there at Brighton. So, perhaps sit down like mature adults, get through the end of the season. A lot of teams are looking at midfielders. I won't mind Caicedo and United. I mean, he's a good player. I won't mind him at United. Um, Chelsea are looking for a midfield. I mean, look, Jorginho may not have those years, in front of him. Arsenal, I mean, Chelsea, I mean, they are pretty much adamant on Enzo Fernandez. You never know. Liverpool. So you have got clubs, who could go for you, right? You have got
Liverpool would
options.
be going for Jude Bellingham.
I mean, I would be surprised if Jude Bellingham would go to a club like Liverpool. I mean, no
Yeah, because
disrespect.
it depends on Liverpool's Champions League position finish this season. Because I don't think they're getting a top four spot anytime soon. And if they
Exactly.
don't, I don't think Jude Bellingham is coming to the Anfield. And one more thing about that Caicedo point, it happened in Brighton just at the beginning of the month that they had a fallout between the manager and the player with Leandro Trossard. And De Zerbi just sat him down and said, "You are out of the club." But here we see the importance of a player to the team that Moises Caicedo is integral part of Brighton right now, and he cannot be the same. He cannot give the same treatment as Trossard because I think Caicedo is more important to the team than Trossard. Say happened in November with our team also with a certain goat, but it was surplus to requirement, and the manager has to be the boss of the team. Just happened with Pep and Cancelo also, like you were discussing in the first half. So I there's a good sense of that the Premier League managers are bossing the club and not the players, especially at United, which was not this scenario at all since Sir Alex Ferguson left. So it's a very welcome change, and it's a very
Look,
good change to see.
Brighton has many issues among themselves also. They usually don't bring a player without a proper scouting system. So they always have players ready to replace them. But right now, they
True.
whatever happened with Casido was like two clubs trying to get the deal done. Both at the time realized that it's not that valuable to pay 60-70 million for a player right now, and both went for cheaper options.
Yeah.
And now Chelsea is thinking that if Brighton is asking 80 million for Casado or 90, I don't know what is the amount going around for Casado, but if they thought that if we have to pay something some amount like that, we would like to go for Enzo Fernandez because of the World Cup he had and the season
And
he's
guys, one
having with.
more point. One more point. Do you think Enzo Fernandez is worth 120 million?
He's not
No.
worth it. Sometimes you have to cut the competition because as soon as you guys were discussing it at the start of the video, also I was watching it. As soon as you go to into summer, more than 5 to 6 clubs are coming for him. So what he's doing is cutting the competition. It's his money. However, he uses 120 million, 150 million, 200 million. A player he wants, he will come because Chelsea have decided not to renew N'Golo Kante's contract.
Yeah, correct. So James Ducker has tweeted that Marcel Sabitzer is due to fly to Manchester shortly as United race to complete a loan deal from Bayern before the deadline. So I think that automatically answers the question about Chelsea out of the race. Yep. So yeah. So I think Sabitzer is a matter of time. So I think now that we have spoken a lot, let us just rate the transfer business of a few of the clubs in the Premier League. Yeah,
Let me
Weber. Cool,
cut
cool,
you
cool,
off.
cool, cool,
I
cool.
think I'll be
Yeah,
leaving
yeah,
now. All the best to you
yeah,
guys.
sure, sure. Thank you so
See
much
ya.
for joining the stream, Weber. Do take care of yourself. I'll see you soon. I'll see you
See you.
soon. Yeah, yeah. So, guys, let's just rate a few clubs' transfer business. Let's start with the table toppers. Let's start with Arsenal. Abhijit bhai, what do you think about Arsenal's transfer business? They've uh, they've bought in Jorginho. They've sent Lokonga on loan. So, what do you make of it?
I think I would rate 7. Seven would be a very far more, but 7 is a very good. They needed a someone experienced player, who has won some trophies. Apart from Zinchenko, I don't see anyone who has won their more trophies. So I think there was a need of experience in that area, and Lokanga to loan is is something that Arteta was trying to do far from months, because Lokanga still needs a time to refurbish. He needs to establish his metal in the Arsenal squad. He's not bad, but the here I think he's not been properly coached. So Lokanga to loan is just adding some minutes to him to get that experience. Jorginho transfer is really exciting for me, because he has that smartness, everything we have discussed earlier. So I would rate 7 for that transfer.
Union Berlin of the Premier League, Union Berlin have gone on and confirmed that Isco to Union Berlin is off
Yeah.
because of the fact that certain limits were exceeded. And gents, what do you make of Isco to Union Berlin? And would you think, all things said and done, would he actually be a good fit for any club in the Premier League? Ojus bhai, what do you think of this?
For me, Isco in Premier League will be a suicide. I don't think so. He fits anywhere in this league. Uh, he's a brilliant player, but right now he is not in the right frame to enter into one of the toughest leagues. He can prove me wrong, and most of us, the people on Twitter, but Isco right now doesn't suit in a Premier League team. If somehow it's a desperate, because we were so desperate for a midfielder, there were some few minnows linking us with Isco. But I'm telling you, buying a play like Isco comes with a lot of liabilities also. And Isco is a player who will be doing in good in other top leagues of the Europe, but in Premier League, I don't see him fitting anywhere.
Uh, so Sandeep bhai, let's get back to rating the transfer businesses of certain clubs. Chelsea. What do you think of Chelsea's business? I think they agreed a deal for Nkunku for him to come in the summer. Malo Gusto also in the
You know
summer. Then
how many ever players they have signed? Give them that number out of 10. If it's 11, it's
so
11.
that's that's
7
But
8.
my question still
Yeah, yeah.
arises.
Yeah.
How many of the players were actually Potter signings? Just use your mind. I mean, be as impartial as it is. Put
I know,
yourself
and
in Potter's place. And do
I
you
would need the
think that
list
these were the
actually.
players you want?
I
Do
would
you
need the
think that
list
these were the
actually.
players Potter? So it's Madueke from PSV,
I think
Malo
Madueke was
Gusto,
a Potter
then
signing.
okay, then there's Malo Gusto from Lyon,
No,
and Kunku from Leipzig.
I think it was decided before he came in, right? It was decided in summer.
No, the deal got done in and around before the World Cup, I guess.
Okay.
September,
That
November.
would be a bit tricky, but I think, yeah, Potter might have his final seal of approval, of course.
Joe Felix on loan.
I think that was a sabotage by Todd Bowley.
And Enzo, I genuinely do not think Enzo is a Potter signing. I do
Enzo
not think
is
Enzo is a.
Enzo is I'll tell you what, Enzo is a statement signing for Chelsea that they want to show that he have signed the best new prospect who has just won the World Cup. I think so.
So out of just by go on.
No. I was just thinking in mind, out of all the signings, only Enzo seems to me a Potter signing because of how he used his midfielders in Brighton. Although what Sandeep Bhai is saying, right, it is a statement signing by Chelsea, but my inner feeling says that maybe Enzo is that Potter signing.
So I
I think
genuinely do not feel that
I think
Enzo is a
I
Potter
think
signing.
Diatro Fofana, Madueke, maybe Malo Gusto. Okay, let's say, and I think that one, the
Oh yeah, I forgot about Mudrik. I'm so sorry. I forgot about
Modric.
Mudrik. Mudrik,
Yes, Modric. I
Mudrik is
think these
genuinely not. No,
Modric.
seriously Mudrik a Potter signing? Absolutely not.
It was. I think it coincided with the Arsenal rivalry, but I think Modric was
No,
highly
I think
appreciated by
no,
Potter.
no, 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 no. I only think that the sole reason Chelsea bought in Mudrik was to take the piss of Arsenal. That's it. I don't think Mudrik was a Chelsea or a Potter
They did
signing
it
by
to us
any
with
stretch
Jao
of
Felix.
imagination.
They did it to us with
No.
Jao
Mudrik,
Felix.
Mudrik was a Boehly signing because of the reason that Mudrik was a player advised by his agents around the time when Arsenal was scouting him. So what he did was that he believed that if Arsenal is going for a player and I have got the scouts on him, it is the right time to invest on a player because he's already thinking about the next season. He has cancelled out the season for all the things that have happened, and Mudrik is a top Boehly signing. It is a top Boehly. It cannot be a Potter signing because Potter comes from a team who knows how to use money. Brighton is a team who knows how to use money, and somehow you will see when all these players start to fall in together, what havoc they are going to create next year.
So Mojesa says on comments that he's the one who's flying Sabitzer from Germany to Manchester. It's a 16-seater Cessna. Mojesa, I think that is the reason why you're not on stream today. Great job, great job. As long as you're getting a Sabitzer, we don't mind it. Abhijit says that Sofian Amrabat to Barcelona is very hot. And there's Gerard Romero once again with his trademark statement. So I have heard a lot about, as far I've spoken to quite a few people who are in and around and invested in Syria, and they believe that Fiorentina is not going to sell Sofian Amrabat at any cost in
Yes,
January
they
because
have
Uh,
cancelled the
Delvin,
whatever the
I just forgot. I
transfer.
think Badia Shield was a Potter signing. Badia Shield was a
okay,
Potter
yeah.
signing.
I mean, the amount of signings that they pulled out is frankly insane. You just can't remember every
I
one of them.
literally was searching the list, to so that I could answer your
Even
question.
Mudeki or something. If
Yeah,
I'm
that's
wrong, one.
Mudieke. We spoke
Mudeki.
about it.
Mudryk,
Mudieke, yes,
Yes.
Mudieke.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said.
The
He's a Potter signing.
Yes.
Amrabat is a signing which is very impossible for Barca because there is the team wants to put in the obligation to buy, and
Hmm.
Barca is not ready for the obligation. They just
Do
want a
you
simple loan.
So I've spoken to one of my close friends who is into Syria, and he says that Sofian Amrabat is a midfielder that perfectly fits Man United. What are your opinions on that? You all have seen Sofian Amrabat's performances for Morocco in the World Cup. He was fantastic. He was absolutely great. But do you think that he is the right profile of a midfielder who fits for United in the Premier League? I will reserve my opinions up until the end, but I want to hear your opinions first. Otis bhai, I want to ask you this. Do you think that Sofian Amrabat is the kind of midfielder who would easily slot into United and Eric Ten Hag's plans at Old Trafford?
Uh, if you are taking into the count the games that I've seen in the World Cup, with that he's a top player and he can fit into any top six side for me. If overall you're saying, I think there are elements in his game that are currently missing to get him into Premier League. I think some of them involve lack of, I think the how quickly he moves with the game, or how he's how physically he's able to counter the the defensive side of Premier League. If what I've seen of him in the World Cup, there was a loan opportunity for Manchester United. Maybe they could have taken, but they have got the right player. We will discuss that after. But for Amrabat to come to United, you have to decide that he is going to be a player that is going to take on the opposition. So you have to have the players that are just sitting back and minding the defensive side of the area. So he would have fit into the system. You will have to explain me a bit better. I have not followed that player that much, but uh, overall saying he still lacks a lot of elements to come into Premier League.
Sandeep bhai, what are your thoughts on Sofian Amrabat perhaps fitting the United side as far as his midfield profile is concerned?
I think he's a bit too slow to turn around as far as I see. He see in the World Cup is like a beer goggles. Okay, so World Cup he might be a tournament player like you said before the like last day like for Harry Maguire. He might be a tournament player but not a league player kind of a thing. So he was in brilliant form in the World Cup and he did show his talent and was very good with what he did. I would have my reservations against Sofian Amrabat slotting into the midfield. I think, see, there is this new thing which I last had in, not a new thing, a rejuvenated thing, which I last had in 2013, that when my manager is buying someone or loaning someone in, I can blindly trust the player. Because Ten Hag will not buy someone whom he cannot mold and whom he cannot slot into the team. So if Ten Hag is going for Amrabat, I think he slots in. If not, I don't know if it's about a if and when situation. So I think from what I've seen, yes, he would be a very good bench option. He would be definitely better than McTominay and Fred. And yes, of course, he would be a added bench option in our team. And I hope this Sabitzer deal, just taking a tangent, he's coming in on loan, but I hope it becomes a permanent transfer because next
I
season
don't
we
think
would need him.
United pay 30 million for Sabitzer. For I believe that they won't pay 30 million if that is the option to buy. And one more thing is, I
I
was
don't think
reading
it will go up to 30 million. Is that so? What is the price?
it's a
15
30
million.
million.
15 to 20.
15 to
Just
20.
by
Yeah, it's
15 to
just a bench
20.
option to have. It's just a bench option to have. That's what I read.
If it's a 15 to 20, yes, it is a good option. But I read
Because
somewhere it is
anyway, we have to go for a world-class midfielder like De Jong or Bellingham or someone like that in the summer transfer window and a top-class striker. So
Bayern
these
has
two
signed
would.
him for 12 million.
no, whatever Bayern signed him for, I will still wait for the official details. Because if it's
Let's
close
just
to
check.
30,
Let's just check.
if it's close to 30, I don't think so. It is a good option.
No, Bayern signed him for less, I guess. Bayern signed him for somewhere around 12 to 13 million.
Uh-huh.
I'll
No,
just
no, no.
check. I'll just check.
I'm saying the
Yes.
option for Manchester United. Whether
15 to 20. 15 to 20. 15 to 20. That's the price tag that is set.
Okay,
Yeah.
guys. Christian Falk has written Marcel Sabitzer verge of joining United. I think so, same update. Sorry.
Yeah.
Me.
So
they,
Sion Biswas says Osimhen for striker in the summer, please. And
Absolutely, Shayon. Absolutely.
yes,
Ekdom bhai.
absolutely. Yes. Ojis, I know you have your doubts, but if you ask me, Osimhen is it. I
I
think
think I think Napoli winning the Serie A For me,
But
that is the
with new owners also, I think Osimhen is. But if we come to the Champions League, coaches, bhai, we automatically become a very attractive prospect. Irrespective of Napoli winning the Premier Serie A, they'll go into the Champions League. Yes, of course.
मोजो सर
But
आपके मुंह
we
में घी शक्कर.
even though we come fourth or even third for that matter and win a couple of trophies, that automatically makes us a much more attractive proposition.
well, but with all respect to Syria, it is not that much. I think it's not on that level right now to discuss it along with Premier League. But
Guys,
what I have
sorry,
discovered,
breaking news from Fabrizio. United have agreed personal terms with Sabitzer. He has immediately accepted and he wants to work under Eric Ten Hag. He will be in Manchester later tonight for breakthrough in the talks between United and Bayern on loan deal.
Yes.
So it's not a here we go yet. I think the here we go is going to happen late at night.
Yeah, it's going to be at around 1:30 a.m. in India, 8 o'clock at.
there is time for loan deals to happen after the window closes, and it seems like only a matter of hours right now. Sabitzer is going to happen, but I just want to confirm, like you guys are saying 15-20 million, I will accept that. I will still wait for
Yeah,
what is
so transfer market is showing 15 million pounds. Transfer market is showing that.
Yeah,
because
so,
Rabiot will also be a free agent. Rabiot will also
nah,
be a
nah,
free
nah, nah,
agent.
nah, nah. I'd rather
He has
have
been brilliant this season. He has been brilliant this season.
But I'd rather have Locatelli for Rabiot if we are going for him in the summer.
The funny part would be if we had to negotiate Locatelli with Sassuolo.
We'd easily get him then.
What because it is a possibility, guys. I'm telling you, Juventus is going down badly.
Oh, I
It's
would
like
love to see them get
2003 all over
relegated.
again.
I'd love to see them get relegated once again. I'd
How
love
will
to.
they pay 50 million? How will they pay 50 million? It's an obligation. It's an obligation.
Yeah.
But
So
but I would say we need a deep lying playmaker, and FDJ is the top midfielder right now in the world,
FDJ is
and
gold standard.
FDJ
Abhijit
will
bhai.
come.
FDJ is a gold
Just
standard. He's a
imagine
yeah,
if
I
नहीं
FDJ
वो ही
comes in
आएगा.
next summer. If FDJ comes in next summer, our midfield would be the best in the league.
भाई Sandeep bhai, we have already Barcelona and Manchester already agreed for 85 million. The
see the
player
No,
only
problem
does
is
not
the players
pay
to
the
player
personal
agree.
terms
terms.
have to be agreed. Player terms.
Only personal terms has to be
His
agreed.
girlfriend would be a problem because she's not wanting to shift.
नहीं भाई
Even
होगा
he doesn't
भाई.
want to go. Even he doesn't want to leave Barca if you go to see.
every stream I would say the same thing. The craft, whatever. How do I spell that name? I always forget.
Cruyff.
Cruyff
Cruyff.
players. Cruyff players have a tendency to be loyal to Barca. They have a tendency to be loyal to Barca. They there is
But
a very
he's getting
strong
Eric Ten
tendency.
Hag here.
Eric Ten Hag is a player who grew him and he respects him. And if Eric Ten Hag pushes and United pushes, the deal can go through. But if you ask FDJ right now, he would say, "I wish Barcelona didn't have to do the levers
Sell
and
me.
thing and everything get sorted, and I want to retire at Barca." In a
Yeah.
Ojit
It's
bhai,
like
in a
short
all of us
story.
were playing for United and Chelsea came Kevin. He was not there.
Just by short story कि FDJ wants Champions League. That's why he had not came. Everything was sorted. Only Champions League was the main
he's
index.
Where is he
playing in
And
playing
second
now?
Europa.
was
Where is he
his
playing now?
wages. Second was
Where is
his
he playing
wages.
now? Where is
He's
he
playing
playing
at
now?
he's
Bhai,
playing at Europa
he
and
did
Old
not
Trafford.
expect that. He didn't expect that.
But I'm telling you guys, if you study about players coming from that side, again the name, and if you study
Cruyff.
the psychology and everything, they whoever come to Barca, they tend to have a loyalty with Barca. Okay, and another thing is FDJ, whatever ruckus created, he's very loyal to Barcelona. He wants to play there for the rest of his career. If somehow Eric Ten Hag convinces him to join Manchester United, it will be a breakthrough deal. It will be one of the best deals for me in the summer, because you have to accept, you have to
How
think
much
that
will you
way.
go for, do you think?
FDJ is the missing piece in the midfield. He is the
How much
missing
you,
piece.
how much will you have to pay for him?
Again, it's
85.
fee is agreed. Fee is agreed, and
85.
Laporta
85.
is openly saying that FDJ is not
65
for sale.
million. 65 million is the price, and 20 million is add-ons. Actually,
Yes, everything is agreed for
Euros.
FDJ.
yes, euros.
Everything is agreed
Okay.
for FDJ, and he's 28. I'm wrong. He will be 28, 27, 28.
25.
25,
25.
26, 26, I think.
Last year he was
Yeah, FIFA
25.
खेलता था तो 27 का था वो.
Sandeep
No,
Bhai,
no, FDJ is young यार. 2018 में तो थोड़ा उसका ब्रेक
only
थ्रू हुआ.
one scenario can change the deal, that if we beat
He is 25 now.
Barcelona in Europa, no, then we have the edge to sign him.
Yeah,
Barcelona is top of the league यार. Where they will get Champions League.
भाई मिलेगा, but we have
yeah.
we
Then
will at
what
the
will
edge
happen
ना.
if FDJ wins the league with Barca? Then what will happen? Will he want to
हाँ
move
वो
in summer? I don't think so. I don't think so. And another thing is that they have a player waiting in the, I should say, bench. There's waiting. It's Frank Kessie. And what type of player he is, what type of midfield it will become when Pedri, FDJ, and Kessie play. It is one of the best midfields in the world.
if we don't sign FDJ, then there are only two options, either Enzo Fernandez or Bellingham.
Enzo is going to happen tonight only, I think so, with all the movements that are going on. And Bellingham is very. You guys are saying he will not move to Liverpool. I will tell you because Klopp has a very good
He will
contacts
move to
with
Liverpool.
Borussia
Absolutely.
Dortmund. He's having a very good talks with Borussia Dortmund. He is on very good terms with Borussia Dortmund. So never rule out Liverpool for Bellingham. And Real Madrid are going for Bellingham because Cruz is still not sure whether he will renew or not. Maybe Cruz is retiring.
Cruz is
Yeah.
Shan
temporary.
bhai, don't tell us about Caicedo for 5 million. I mean,
See,
what a
so
wasted
exactly,
opportunity
here's
it was.
a lot of people. So yeah, about Caicedo, a lot of people ignore this fact. But the real reason why we actually didn't go for Caicedo is not because of his price tag. It was because of his agents who at that time were dodgy, and how he's parted ways with those agents.
Okay.
So
Okay.
the reason was those dodgy agents that we did not go for him, not because of the
Okay.
price tag. So Moses
Mojo sir,
says that
I
the
think
bonus will. Yeah, I think I agree. We will have some sales. I think this is the time where we will have to make sure that we sell players on profit, and it's
Pelistri
about
and
time
Ahmad
that we do.
will be sold. Pelistri, Ahmad, and AWB won't be sold. Maguire is going. Tuanzabe is going.
no.
Uh, uh,
AWB
uh,
might be. Might be. Sorry,
Maguire.
Delville.
Yeah, I don't mind as long as he plays well and wins a couple of trophies with us, man. Want to
Yeah,
see
true,
him,
Maguire,
true.
want to see him lift at
Tuanzabe,
least one
Brandon,
trophy.
Maguire, Tuanzabe, Brandon Williams, Alex Telles, McTominay maybe.
Henderson, Henderson,
Henderson is going.
Bai.
Elanga is going. Elanga is going.
By Telles.
Lord Jones.
वो नहीं जा रहा है. वो
Don't talk about
टेस्टिमोनियल
1
खेल के
million.
निकलेगा.
What
वो
I'm telling you,
टेस्टिमोनियल खेल के निकलेगा.
if Maguire, if we can do a deal for Maguire for 30 million, it will be a very good deal. Newcastle is ready to pay 30 million for McTominay. That comes 60 million.
So yeah, Mojo sir says, how does Jorginho signing of Arsenal rates versus Sabitzer for us?
I think we win. I think we
Yeah,
win.
looks like it. It's
I
very
think we
close to
win.
call.
No,
I don't no. So I'll tell you something. It's not about winning. So
No,
Jorginho
I'm
comes.
just talking about
No,
only
no.
these two players, not the team position
Yeah.
or anything. Only
No,
these two
No,
players.
I'm not even talking as far as the team positions comes. I'm talking about the fit. So Sabitzer comes in a midfield which is a work in progress. Yes, it's you can say all about the midfield being very good and all, but at the moment everyone knows that our midfield is Casemiro and Inshallah. Put plain and simple, that is what our midfield is.
Hey, Bruno
Arsenal,
को ऐसा मत कर यार. Bruno भी है
Bruno
यार.
is a 10. Bruno is a 10. I'm talking about that midfield axis. Now, if you take Arsenal's midfield if Arsenal's midfield axis, there's Partey, there's Xhaka, and then there's Odegaard. Odegaard plays as an 8 and not as a number 10, just in case
Yeah,
you
there are
think
two
so.
number 8s. There are two number 8s. Yeah.
Precisely. Jorginho slots right into that midfield. You play Jorginho along with Xhaka and Odegaard. That's three different midfielders with three different profiles. If
well,
at all Jorginho
yes,
rediscovers his form,
yes.
that Arsenal midfield becomes
Yes.
virtually invincible.
it is
I would like
saving
to
an
one.
accident.
I would like to add one point here. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
said
yeah,
it
go
Yes.
on, go on.
at the start of the video when you guys were discussing. I said it on comment. If Jorginho gains form, he is a complete fit for Arsenal. And this is and 12 million and 10 to 12 million is just peanuts.
And so one point I would like to say for Sabitzer is
You can go on. You can go on. You can go on.
anyways. So
Okay, so Munnuba has put in a
okay.
very Sabitzer need to collapse. The private jet pilot has been locked in the restroom, responding to the media via the keyhole as the door cannot be unlocked.
Anyway, so what
Okay,
I was saying,
yeah, yeah.
Sabitzer, I think the talking of our midfield, coming to our midfield, one area where Ericsson was lacking was the defensive duties. I think Sabitzer comes in and fulfills that really well. He can assist Casemiro in cleaning up the forward attacks of the other team. I think Ericsson, as a creative player, he's a brilliant. Like
Correct,
maybe
correct. No, no
Sabitzer
doubts
is
about it.
Sabitzer may not be as good as Ericsson in that area, but I think in the defensive part of it, he does well.
Yeah, I mean, because like we spoke about this, another factor where Sabitzer gains an advantage over Ericsson is that he can give us 90 minutes, which is something very
True,
crucial for us
very true,
throughout the
very
course
true.
of
I,
throughout
after
the course of the
60
season.
minutes, after 60 minutes, like Ericsson was, I just before the Reading game, in our preview, I told him, please God, rest him. Please don't play him, rest him, play Fred. But I guess he's very important to the team that Ten Hag puts out. But now he's without him for the rest of
Yeah,
the season,
he will be on
like
rest
most of
for
the rest of the
till
season.
will be on rest till May. Very, very, very sad injury. We just needed him in the second half. But
And
Sabitzer,
that Carroll man, once a Scouser, always a Scouser.
How is that man still playing football is beyond my reach. The man looks like a
how was the
fucking
tackle
caveman.
allowed? How was the tackle allowed? Why are
It's,
there no
it's
repercussions?
No,
plain and simple fact. Ojas by it's United. We won't get calls. It's that
no.
simple.
I'm
It's
not.
come to a
I'm
joke.
Yeah, I'm not seeing even on the news that Carroll is going to be banned for what at least 5 games. These type of things should be banned.
Few years ago, PGA Mall has the refereeing committee has apologized for that card situation. They are
अरे
not giving the
अपोलो से
card.
क्या होगा यार, अप्रैल
मतलब
के लिए
भाई
तो
ये वो तो है.
एरिक्सन
ये
वापस
तो
आएगा क्या?
आप अपोलॉजी करके क्या करोगे? एरिक्सन तो गया भाई। ये
and
टैकल्स को
the
आप
funny part is हाँ बोलो 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 नो प्रॉब्लम
नहीं, मेरा तो बस ये था कि अगर आप पनिश नहीं करोगे ये चीजें ही होती रहेंगी।
exactly and funny part is he was red carded but none of the yellow card for was that tackle. वो कैसेमिरो को भी इंजोर कर सकता था पूरा सीजन के लिए भाई, सेकंड येलो कार्ड जो उसको मिला, रेड कार्ड जहाँ पे
Yep,
has legs that he survived. I don't think so. एरिक्सन बहुत ही गंदा टैकल होगा जो एरिक्सन खत्म ही है बिल्कुल।
and Ericsson injury history is not that bad also.
Yeah, you could literally see Ojas by that tackle was meant to break someone. That tackle was literally not. There was no intention to win the ball because of the fact that he's coming from behind, and there was only one. I think he was given a specific task: break. That's it. He tried on Casemiro, didn't happen. Got an Ericsson got it. It's that simple. He was given a simple instruction: break the players, and that's what he was doing. That tackle was bad, just downright bad, and I'm putting it lightly. That tackle was horror.
I don't know what referee was smoking there. If a player, this is the basic rules of booking. If a player comes from behind, his intention is not to win the ball. His intention is not to win the ball. It is a clear yellow. It can be a red card also according to the severity of the foul.
Guys, Fabrizio posted a video of Sabitzer through the Berlin okay, Germany
Munich
airport, any of
Airport.
them.
Munich Airport.
Munich airport, and he's telling that it will be a surprise. Like if he's joining United, he's saying it will be a surprise. I think Tushar
Yeah,
was said.
he will decide on the way whether he has to go to London or Manchester. It's
Pretty
just
much
Yes,
done.
sir.
Pretty much done at this point in time.
It's just a here we go
And
away.
yeah, just
Mm.
yeah,
Fabrizio is running an OnlyFans on Twitter and Insta. He
and
is
Twitch
he
also.
yeah,
And
yeah,
also that कि एरिक टेन मतलब if you have seen that एरिक टेन ने कैसे बेवकूफ बनाया है मीडिया को भाई कि वी आर नॉट ऑन द वर्ज ऑफ साइनिंग एनीथिंग और इधर कल ही ऐसा रिपोर्ट है कि कल ही उन्होंने मतलब डील मतलब ये कर दी थी दे हैव एग्रीड
I mean, you have to do something to get engagement also, na. So I think
हाँ
yeah.
I think the
So yeah,
Eriksen
another
injury. Huh.
yeah, Ericsson injury. What?
I think the Eriksen injury, fastened the process because I don't think United were ready to shell out
Made
any more
it.
money.
It made it a necessity. It
Yeah,
basically made it a
exactly.
necessity. That so another interesting deal that has been working is PSG trying to sign Hakim Ziyech, and
yes, because
Gaultier is
Sarabia left because Sarabia
yeah,
left.
Sarabia has left. Yeah, so Gaultier has already made it clear that there are talks between Chelsea and PSG. Do you think that PSG is the right move for Hakim Ziyech, or do you think he could have done a better job at any club in the Premier League, perhaps?
I think a move to Arsenal would be really good for him right now.
Really?
Why?
ना
Why?
नो
Why?
Absolutely.
व्हाट यू
Why?
टॉक आप कौन से नशे करके आए हो संदीप भाई सब जगह आज सबको आर्सेनल ही भेज देना है क्या
मैं बोल रहा हूँ उसके लिए
you
अच्छा
have
होता मैं बोल रहा हूँ the
you
style of
have
football he is playing a move to us also would be really good because he has played
but
under
they
Eric Ten Hag.
but they do have depth in the position. No, they do have depth in right wing. You think he's going to replace Saka? Why would he go to Arsenal to be a bench option again?
See, if he moves to any of the top 4, top 6 teams, he would be a bench option. He would not be starting.
Nah,
no,
he's
no,
going to
no.
start. He's going to start for us. That's for sure. He's going to start for
He is
us.
going to
I
start
don't
for
think he starts
Manchester
for
United.
Anthony all the games.
Absolutely. You think he won't start? He is going to start.
100%. Leroy Sane came when Mahrez came when Leroy Sane was there, and usually the technical players get the preference from the managers because they offer much more onto the pitch. What Anthony right now offers is very raw. What Ziyech will offer on the right side of the wing would be very important for any team right now, especially Manchester United. He's just too good on right wing. For me, his best position is still behind the striker. For some other reason, that is what I think. But on right wing for Manchester United, he would be a very good option. Unfortunately, he is going to PSG. The deal is very close.
I want to defend some for you, but Sandeep Bhai was right because Saka is the only one right winger they have. What is the other option for the right winger?
Saka is the
But
right winger.
again,
Only one player. They have only one. They don't have backup another player. So GH would be a very good, good player.
I think
Sandeep Bhai, I am with you.
Enketia can play there. Enketia can play there, and I also
yeah,
think
absolutely.
Trossard is
Trossard plays
already
everywhere along the forward line.
yes. He plays. Ziyech to Arsenal would never have made sense if it would have happened. A very good enjoy London dreams. He's going to PSG for a deal because Sarabia has moved to Wolves, and PSG need a backup because they have a Champions League to play for. They need
Acha,
players.
Ojas, we need to apologize. There is I don't know where it's coming from, but apparently there is a 35 million obligation to buy for Sabitzer. We need to apologize to you.
We will still wait. We will still wait for the official confirmation, and then we
Yeah.
will play the story game
You said
online.
you said obligation, not
Obligation,
option.
not an option. Obligation.
No, it can't be true then. Obligation, I don't think so.
Nah, I
I
don't
don't
think
think.
so too. No, no, no.
I'm just checking the source. I'm just checking the source.
What's the source?
I'm just checking the
See,
source. Yeah.
15-20 million will be a very good price, but I
No.
just read somewhere that it is 30 million option to buy. If there is an option,
No,
there's a 30 million.
Ojas Bhai, it
I'll
is a
just check.
straight loan actually. David Ornstein has reported that it is a straight loan actually.
No, it's a
Yeah,
straight loan, but there is an
yeah, but
option.
option और obligation तो season के बाद होता है ना अभिजीत भाई. That's what
हाँ, yes,
that's what the main bargain point is between both the clubs. Whether they want it to be an option or whether they want to be an obligation.
But Delvin Bhai, he would have tweeted that full, with the obligation
The,
to buy,
So,
but he has
I
not
because
think
said.
it is
nothing
not
is
coming.
confirmed as of yet, no.
Nothing is
That
confirmed.
is
It is
Ah,
not.
because
It is
both the clubs are still deciding on it. It's nothing is
yes,
decided. So that's
yes,
why even
yes.
Ornstein
You
can't tweet of his own free will,
if
no?
if you read the news of Cancelo going to Bayern, if you read it carefully, there was a price tag mentioned in that loan deal, which is currently being stated as negotiable. So this is a new element in the transfer business where there is an option kept and the negotiable element is added in the transfer business. So this is somehow, I think this can happen with Sabitzer also. If somehow he says 25, Bayern says 25, which can be negotiated, then it can come down to 15-20. I just read somewhere that it is a 30 million buy option if Manchester United pushes it.
So,
okay,
with
okay.
further news in the Premier League, Nottingham Forest are on the verge of signing two more players apart from the 3,897 players that they've signed already. So one is Jonjo Shelby, and the other one is Felipe from Atletico Madrid.
That's a good
My
signing.
question is a very straightforward question. They've already signed so many players that can populate an entire village.
I think
Do
Chelsea
you
and
think?
Nottingham Forest can create a league of their own.
Yeah, they can actually. Why do you need a European Super League where two teams can put in two teams themselves? Simple as that. My question to y'all is pretty straightforward. With the amount of investment and with the amount of players that Nottingham Forest are buying, irrespective of the fact whether they are on loan or whether on permanent deals or free transfers, whatever the hell it is, do you genuinely think that they have any chances of staying up in the Premier League? I mean, the bare minimum with the outlay that they've put this season is to survive the Premier League. Do you think they survive the Premier League, especially with so many players coming in?
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
you find
I
it
think
so
they do.
difficult to you find it so bloody difficult to adjust three new signings. Here there are bloody 27 signings coming in two windows.
I think they survive. I think they survive. Not because of what they're signing. I think because of the form of the other teams, especially Southampton and
Even before this question, there is a question: where was Jonjo Shelby? Then I just
Newcastle,
want to ask.
Newcastle.
No, 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 no,
Newcastle,
no.
Newcastle. Oh,
I phrase this
if he
question:
played
where
for us
was
against us,
he played against
what
us?
did
no, no.
he?
If he played against us in the final of the EFL Cup, a goal against us would be guaranteed for John Joe Shelby. If
Nah, Jonjo
John Joe
Shelby is
Shelby
a player
always
who
finds a
has
way
an
to score
absolute.
against us.
The players that Newcastle were quoting for 50 million, one of them was Longstaff, Sean
Yes,
Longstaff,
Sean
and
Longstaff.
Not the
yes,
Matty
and
one.
Jonjo Shelby was quoted for around 20 to 30 million, and nobody bought him. Nobody bought him. Now the deal is happening. Is it on loan or there is
I
a fee?
think
Loan.
Permanent deal.
Yeah, it's a loan.
let me just check.
Permanent deal, है ना?
I think John Joe Shelby is a loan. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. Fabrizio has not written anything regarding.
Jonjo Shelby is a player I watched in Swansea City, where that Sigurdsson
I
also
know.
rose. Sigurdsson rose.
Miguel Mishu.
Yeah, Jonjo Shelby was a player for Swansea, and he used to always mess around with us against
That's what I was
Manchester
saying.
United.
It
And
stopped against United. It stopped when he joined Liverpool and then Newcastle. So since he's joined Liverpool and Newcastle, he's always got cards against us. He's never
he
scored goals
he
against us.
joined Liverpool after
Yeah,
Swansea.
Fabrizio has written here.
Yes,
Here we go. Full
Swansea,
deal.
Liverpool, and then Newcastle.
Permanent
Liverpool after
agreement till
Swansea.
20. Permanent agreement till 2025. John Joe Shelby. Fabrizio.
Price, or is it a free?
Uh, done deal medical test booked, but price is not
I
available.
think it will get clearer. It must be around 10 million, 15 million, not more than that. Even that
They
is too
bought
much.
him. No,
Yes,
it's a
yes, yes.
profit because they bought him on a free. It's a profit.
Yes,
They
yes.
bought him on a free.
They bought him on a
No,
free, I think. Yeah,
Newcastle bought Gordon for 40, right?
Yes,
45. 40 plus
yes.
5. Yeah.
45 add-ons. So 40.
Yeah.
Only I've seen very less of that player, but he's not even worth 20 for me. For me, I can be wrong.
He's not. He's not. But
He's
then
not. He's not at
considering
all.
he's not at all. But considering the market, Ojas bhai, I mean these players 40 is if 40 is the new 20 as far as the
Mhm.
transfer market is concerned.
What were Everton thinking of rejecting an 80 million bid from Chelsea? It was like it would have been
80 million was basically a spit on the face of transfer
see,
market then. So thank God he didn't go for 80.
yeah, Delvin, just think. Why is Brighton denying Casido to any team right now? Is because they think he is an important part of the first 11. Why did Gordon
Because they
not
already
move?
because they already let Richarlison go in the summer, no?
Yes, I did, but Gordon was never like that. Garner is not in your thinking, whatever the thinking is around the club. And with Sean Dyche coming, maybe he needed a player which could have been, if the investment was early, it would have been a very good option. He would have bought.
Sean Dyche is going to roll back the years with Dwight McNeil at Everton.
Absolutely.
He's going to roll back the years.
Sean Dyche will absolutely crack it at Everton. Like I think that it will be a
He
resurgence kind of a thing.
he has Michael Keane who was at Burnley. He had Tarkowski who was at Burnley. He has Dwight McNeil who was at Burnley.
He has also
This
that
is
player,
this.
no, this one, the defender, Tarkowski. Yes, yeah.
That's what I
Sorry.
said. No, Tarkowski.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tarkowski. Yeah.
Gaurav Katara says Ademola Lookman once he's a wonder at Atalanta. No, Lookman has the talent. It's just that he hasn't got enough time and injuries have not helped his cause either. He's a very
Lukman
good
is
player though.
Lukman is in a wrong league. He could just dominate Premier League if he starts playing at his level. He's a very good player.
But then again, played for Everton. What level? What level?
I just want to add that the difference between the 13th place Nottingham Forest and Southampton is just 9 points, and you
The
can't
9 points
predict who,
they are not just
but
9
you
points.
can't predict who will be relegated. One team I would say that would be
9 points in a relegation fight is too much.
yes,
Too
but
much.
Less.
I don't see Nottingham Forest being relegated. They have the players and they can do, but I just see Bournemouth getting relegated.
It
Bournemouth
is.
will definitely get
Bournemouth,
relegated.
Southampton will be relegated.
I'm going
Southampton,
to.
I don't know. No, Southampton will
No,
survive, I will say.
Southampton has a very good chance to be relegated. And what is the problem with Southampton is they have one of the very good midfielders in their team. They have Ward Prowse, and he's very loyal to Southampton. He's the captain. I think so. He's the captain also. And now what will happen is whether he will, if they get relegated, will he stay with them in the championship? Because Ward Prowse is a player that they can cash on in the summer.
Crystal Palace, I would say they can get relegated because they have missed Zaha.
What?
Crystal
Crystal
Palace
Palace relegated? What nonsense?
can get yes. अरे विल्फ्रेड ज़हा इज इंजर्ड भाई.
So
उनके पास क्या है अटैक में भाई बताओ अब कौन
what
सा प्लेयर है भाई
position?
वो they can
Odson
Only one
Edward,
player.
Odson Edward, Olise, Eberechi Eze. What are you talking?
Position are they on?
no I don't see भाई ये डिबेट हो सकता है but I don't want to debate but
नहीं,
Crystal
नहीं,
Palace
Leeds are much favorite to get relegated than Crystal Palace.
No.
What nonsense are you talking?
and no Delvin bhai you will regret this but Leeds have the best manager.
Crystal Palace
can do.
Crystal
Mars
Palace
can
is
do
12th. Abhijit bhai, Crystal Palace is 12th.
Abhijit
भाई,
24 points.
हाँ
I
भाई
don't-
सेम ही तो है भाई 15 और 24 में 9 पॉइंट्स है भाई.
So 9 points. हाँ तो 9 points is too much in a relegation battle.
Abhijit
But
bhai,
I don't
9 points-
but I don't
9
see
points
that.
are 18 points. 9 points are 18
ऊपर नीचे
points
होगा
in a-
भाई ऊपर नीचे जरूर होगा बट
हाँ, ऊपर नीचे होगा बट 18
हाँ.
पॉइंट्स होते हैं 9 पॉइंट्स बराबर
No,
in a-
I genuinely do not see Crystal Palace get relegated, to be really honest with you.
are just too good if for
Please.
right now to be relegated until and unless see Abhijit bhai it's sports anything can happen
हाँ.
we all know that but until and unless there is a complete what should I fall in the form everything just goes upside down Crystal Palace is a team that won't be get relegated.
I
I'm
would
really worried-
support Abhijit Bhai's point only till next Sunday when we have to beat them.
This Sunday, you mean?
Crystal
This
Palace
Sunday.
are going down.
We play Crystal Palace this week, Sandeep
This
bhai.
week, yeah, sorry. Sorry.
भाई उनके पास जहा नहीं है भाई जहा इज द मेन पिवट
I
प्लेयर
see.
दैट
I
कैन
understand. See, I
जैसे हमारा
understand.
कैसिमिरो है
Again,
जैसा हमारा कैसिमिरो है, सेम एज
Zaha is a free
he
agent in summer. Zaha is a free agent in summer.
No one's
but
going to
I
go
just
for him. No one's going to go for him. His window
Arsenal
is gone.
Maybe
His window to go for a big club is gone. There was a time when Spurs and Arsenal were interested in
He's
him,
injury
but
prone
then
now. He's
and
injury
he's too
prone now.
mercurial also.
True.
Sometimes blow hot, sometimes blow cold. Gonzalo
yeah.
Ramos for United. If Martial leaves, yes, why not?
So,
Absolutely.
Gaurav bhai, one thing about Ramos I want to say is maybe what I have looked at him in World Cup also or somewhere I have seen him play. He's a kind of player that can just dominate the front line on his own. But can he connect with the wingers that we
Who?
have
Who?
around him, like Anthony and
Ramos only.
Anthony and Rashford, because you need a striker, a mobile striker right now, and Osimhen is also that type of striker who just loves to dominate the front line. Really, we need to work on the mobile striker who we are scouting right now. Because as soon as a striker comes that is only focused, like what happened with Ronaldo. Okay, with any player who just completely is a proper number nine, na, then the player like Rashford and Anthony who just love to come inside and score, somehow the mobility doesn't work. You need a player. How well Marshall plays with Rashford and Anthony. He just goes deep and connects the ball with Rashford. He passes the ball to Rashford or Anthony. That is the way I think so. The striking system will be scouted.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree with that. If you say it accordingly, yeah. So Leicester has gone on and made a signing. Harry Souttar from Stoke has joined Leicester, the Australian defender who played at the World Cup. The fee is 15 million, and I think on the face of it, Leicester do need defensive reinforcements, and I think Souttar is a step in the right direction. Uh,
Soyuncu is leaving right now or in the summer?
He's not
no, so
leaving. Deal is
They
off.
have blocked. Yeah, they blocked his move to Atletico Madrid. So it will,
Deal
if
is
any
off.
prospective, yeah, if any prospective move for Soyuncu will be in the summer.
And Felipe is going where from Atletico? He's
Nottingham
moving.
Forest. Nottingham
Nottingham Forest.
Forest.
Nottingham Forest. Felipe. Okay.
Steve Cooper reaction.
See, guys, I have a lot of respect for Felipe. That is why I have a lot of respect for Felipe.
He would be I don't know like how they gel together for the rest of the season. That it's a very good question you
That
asked,
is
Delvin.
that is the biggest. I mean, see, we have problems integrating 5 new signings at once. All right,
Yeah, true.
a great manager will somehow manage to get it done also with 5 signings. This is 5 times 5. It's coming close to bloody 30 signings.
So Delvin, I'll
I
ask you this now. What do you think Chelsea would look like next season?
I mean, Potter will become 70 years old by the summer, dude. If and or if like with the stress and all, like to integrate new players in this system, and all of these players have been bought for hefty prices. You see Modric, you see Felix also
And
loan price
with the
very
egos.
hefty, massive egos.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Vijay.
yes, yeah. Go on, go on.
just one point to Sandeep Bhai. Now the expectations are high on Potter. They have totally backed him. Okay, that's the one point. If he doesn't perform, he will be sacked. And someone world class manager like Jose Mourinho or someone will be at Chelsea. Even Tuchel, you can't deny.
So Abhijit, by one thing, I think we spoke about this earlier also. Some of these signings are not
Mojo sir
Potter
was saying
signings.
that. Mojo sir was saying that.
Some of these signings are not exactly Potter signings also. So I think what the long play is that they will give Potter time. I don't think they're going to sack him. They will give Potter time up to next season at least. They have, because I mean you've bought in a full
If
squad, a full 11 of players, and it automatically means that both the coach and the player will need time. So I genuinely feel that Potter not get sacked, but they
if
should
they
give him
sack
time
him,
also.
if they sack him, it would be a counterproductive move by them because
Exactly.
one like what do you call it, the one preseason is not enough to inculcate 15 players in one single team and make
We
it a
didn't even
like
have a preseason.
1 point.
नेक्स्ट सीजन की बात कर रहा हूँ.
हाँ.
Oh yes, Sandeep bhai, only 1 point. There will be, if he will be sacked, is that he will not, if he don't qualify for a top 6. What do you say?
This season he will be
This
sacked.
season.
You are saying?
Oh
Absolutely
yes.
not.
If
Absolutely
No,
not.
no.
bhai,
Absolutely
on
not.
what basis? On what basis you are signing the player?
Because
All
he
the
has
players
not
who
been
played
given
Champions
time to
League.
assemble the team. The
Yeah,
players are
yeah.
there, but he has to get a squad right. He has to get a formation right, and that does not happen without a preseason. He has not had enough time.
I don't think so. He's still in the terms as a manager in January window if he was going to be sacked for the result specific to this. Top six is not the target for Chelsea. Are they in Champions League? They are in
Yeah,
Champions League,
they
Yes,
are.
yes, yes.
but uh, Chelsea and Liverpool are not moving. For me, Chelsea and Liverpool are not moving.
I mean, the most they can climb up is to seventh and eighth, but I don't see them climbing above that.
No, maybe even
Delvin
to
by
fifth and sixth.
No, I doubt. I
Delvin by it
doubt.
also depends on the team that are playing above them. Right? They are doing pretty decent.
It's
Brentford and
It's
Fulham, I guess.
Fulham
Brighton,
and
yeah,
Brighton and Fulham.
Brighton.
So they can fall away.
Brighton is amazing. Brighton is really
No,
good.
but then there could be I mean, like you said, Ojas bhai, nothing can be guaranteed in sport, and sport is so uncertain. There could be a time where Brighton could fall down, or maybe Fulham for that matter could fall down, and
Fulham,
then
yes.
Chelsea and Liverpool. So I think they can max move up to seventh and eighth. I don't see them moving anywhere above that. The seventh means Conference League, which means they'll be playing
Yeah,
Wi-Fi passwords.
Liverpool. What players they signed? I think it is only Gakpo this January,
Yes, apart from Gakpo, nobody knew.
and no one left. No one left.
No, who leave? How?
Melo,
They don't.
Arthur Melo, he's still there.
Yes.
Yes,
I
in the
swear I've
hospital
never seen
though.
him play.
In the
Ian
hospital though,
Gregory.
but yeah, he's there.
Gregory.
No, for signing a Gakpo because we didn't have the financial base. Gakpo is a signing they did. They have Luis Diaz. They have Jota. They all are injured. Jota, Salah, Firmino. Firmino is also free agent. Guys, Firmino is also free
Acha,
agent
it's
in summer.
loan with option to buy coming from Sky Sports Dutch.
Regarding Sabitzer,
Deutsch.
no.
Deutsch, yeah.
Regarding Sabitzer, no.
Yeah, Sabitzer. Loan with
Yeah,
option to
has to
buy.
be an option. Has to be an option, not an
Yeah,
obligation for
yeah,
sure.
it can never be an obligation. United are just like that. You say obligation, they say okay, bye. For a
All right,
practical.
Acha,
yeah.
guys, Delvin, coming to you. What about Keylor Navas to Nottingham?
I mean, that pretty much makes Dean Anderson pretty redundant. Then that makes
I
Henderson
mean,
redundant.
If Henderson starts over Navas, I will just quit watching Premier League.
Then Nottingham Forest should be relegated only.
I don't know what has gone into players. For PS, okay, you need game time. I get that. So many opportunities for game time. You've got so many teams to go to. You're going to Nottingham. What is happening? Yeah, Nottingham. What are they
Manu.
doing?
See,
Now,
Keylor Navas is 36.
someone just remind me to take Nottingham next time in FIFA. I will play with career mode with them.
See, first of all, Keylor Navas is 36. All right,
Yeah.
doesn't have a lot of football left. Plays for Costa Rica, who I don't think will qualify for any World Cup for the next 2 or 3 tournaments at least. Not a lot of options left. All the teams have a proper established goalkeeper,
Yeah.
so makes
Yes,
realistic sense.
for Fabianski is 38, 39, right?
38, yes, 38.
I think Navas with the fitness he has, I've never seen Navas out of the game. He can play 2-3 years. He can play 2-3 years.
No, I'm saying for an established team, not like a
Yes.
Forest or something.
Yes.
There is no place for Keylor Navas. If this was to,
Yeah, I will tell you one thing also, Delvin bhai. If you look at Nottingham Forest team, 5 to 6 players are only on 1 year contract. Why? Because they believe if Nottingham gets relegated, we don't want to go down with them.
Lingard also is on a 2-year contract, I guess.
Lingard is on 1 year.
1 year.
One plus one, then I guess.
No,
And
1 year.
Aurier is also on 1 year contract. Aurier is also on 1 year contract. It's very tough.
I think only Gibbs White is on a multi-year contract, right?
Multi-year contract.
He's a fantastic player.
And he's injured, by the way, for the home game. He's injured.
Whatever it is, they're not going to score 4. They're not going to score 4.
They're not going to
No, I'm just saying he's good to like. You would like to watch him. He's a good watch.
Yeah. So Jag spends to rent is done. It's a dry loan, no obligation, no option, no obligation. Spurs and the player both believe that he has a future in Tottenham. So yeah, that's the loan deal done. Spends to rent.
Right back.
Yes. I'm talking about that. Yeah.
Where is he?
No, official. Ren in Liga. Ren only. There's no Saint.
League One.
Pedro Porro, here we go.
Yeah, Pedro Porro is done. It was very close in the evening when we started the stream. Now it's done. It was as good as done only.
Yeah,
it's as good as done.
One else was involved. Pedro Porro.
This will be good.
Sabitzer, Casemiro, and Bruno. Yes, absolutely. That's what
this will be good.
And Fred. Add Fred into the mix also.
Yeah.
Fred and pray to God McTominay. We have very good options in midfield. It's decent, but I really pray that Sabitzer gets off from steroids and want him to stay injury free. Sabitzer is really, really important right now with Eriksen. His shot not coming before May. He's not coming before.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully in time to lift the trophy. Let's see.
He was going to lift the trophy. For me, he was going to lift the trophy as a League Cup winner.
So he will. आएगा ना स्क्रचेस पे आके ट्रॉफी उठा लेंगे यार. I mean, यूरोपा लीग तो देख ही लिया था.
Just came on my timeline.
This is what I was going to say. This was talking about. हमारे आधे तो यूरोपा लीग का स्क्वाड तो वो टाइम पे लंगड़े लूले ही तो थे जिन्होंने ट्रॉफी उठाई है.
That Ajax team was not that easy to beat. Mourinho ने जितना दिखाया, that Ajax team was
not difficult, but yeah. So what do you rate United's transfer window? Weghorst on loan, Jack Butland on loan, and now Sabitzer on loan.
Achha, guys, Christian, 1 minute. Christian Falk is now tweeting no buy option for Marcel Sabitzer.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's only no buy option. Good, that's good then. No buy option at all. So just a dry loan. Just a dry loan.
Not even an option.
It's 5. It's 5.
I'll give it a 6.5. Just because of the Sabitzer signing. 6.5.
It's a 6. Just because of Sabitzer. Otherwise it would be a 4 or 3 even. Just because of Sabitzer it bumped to a 6.
Abhijit bhai, you?
7. I would give 7.
Oh.
No, not bad. I mean, fair enough.
Because no, only one point. Because you are underestimating Sabitzer.
No.
But he is definitely a best player.
I think we have given we have given the rating because of the Sabitzer signing only.
Exactly. and also one more thing, not just because of hold on.
I can never underrate Sabitzer. I have watched him play for Leipzig.
Exactly.
I know what kind of player he is.
Even though we beat them very badly against us in the Champions League, he played well when we played them.
There is a player a top player coming out of Leipzig. I think that it's Dani Olmo. I've also seen him play. Dani Olmo.
My hopes of winning Europa League has been getting higher because of Sabitzer.
Yeah, only if he stays injury free.
Yeah,
definitely.
I mean, it is a very even battle as far as the Europa League is concerned also, because of the fact that even Barca are approaching somewhere close to good form. So Dembele is injured and will miss both the legs.
Dembele is like back to his ambulance form. And
Dembulance, not ambulance. Dembulance.
Gaurav bhai saying about Tammy Abraham, you guys will give your opinion after this. मैंने ना देखा मोरिनो के कुछ सेट ऑफ प्लेयर्स है जो सिर्फ मोरिनो के सिस्टम में खेल पाते हैं. And somehow I respect Abraham a lot. He had a very good performance when we beat them 4-0 in that season. It was the
Chelsea.
first match, yeah, in the first match of the season. But Abraham मुझे ऐसा player लगता है, he is the kind of player who just suits Mourinho's style. वो एक एक ना killer instinct है उसमें, है कि मेरे को मैनेजर Mourinho के लिए मैं कुछ भी कर सकता हूँ. I can do anything for Mourinho. If he asks me to play centre back, if he asks me to play as a goalkeeper, I'm ready to do that. Abraham is a player who's very committed to the Roma and to the manager.
Yeah, that's for sure. But I don't think Tammy Abraham would fit United also. I don't think so. I don't think he would be a perfect fit, as far as
We
concerned.
need a target man.
स्ट्राइकर ऑप्शंस इतने हैं ना, आप सोचो, आप देखो, अगर आप समर में, इफ यू लुक एट द समर, बिटवीन 50 to 80 million ब्रैकेट यू हैव 9 to 10 स्ट्राइकर ऑप्शंस. अब आप उसमें से स्काउट करोगे कि आपके सिस्टम में कौन सूट करेगा. एंड ओसिमन इज अ फेवरेट फॉर एवरी यूनाइटेड फैन ऑन ट्विटर, एवरी सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म यू गो, एवरीवन वांट्स ओसिमन. बट यू हैव टू रिमेंबर दैट Napoli are so cruel at transfer that they just don't let players go. Koulibaly, I don't know how it happened. It was a profit for them of how he's playing in Premier League. But 60 million was the price tag they set for Koulibaly, 60 to 70 million. Even 100 million. Even
80 million मांग रहे थे, 80 million मांग रहे थे, मुझे याद है.
हैरी मैगवायर टाइम पे.
हाँ.
अब आप देखो, आप ओसिमन के लिए जाओ, they will say 150.
Yeah, because they bought him for 70. They bought him for 70.
Yeah, they bought him for 70, and you will see if God knows if Mbappe goes to Madrid somehow, PSG can come and pay 120, 130 for Osimhen. It is a possibility. They need a player who scores goal in the front.
Why are we not considering Sesko?
Because he has a deal set with Leipzig, I think so.
But
He
it
is
is
done.
not.
But there was also this report that he might not play for Leipzig and be sold before that. There was this report.
They have a deal agreed. I'm not
No,
wrong.
no, by मतलब
They have a deal agreed. He will join Leipzig. Leipzig from Salzburg. But it might be that all the transfer fee that would be paid would be to Leipzig, and he might not even play for them. That was there.
Guys,
papers are not signed actually.
किसी को ग्रेवन बात से I know it won't happen because he's a very good player. But ये मेरे को ना वो वाइब दे 2016 की यूरो की, जब रेनाटो सैंचेज was favorite to join Manchester United. He was favorite to join Manchester United. He moved to Bayern Munich where there was again a set of injuries.
I still hope Renato Sanchez is one of the players who I genuinely hope fails in his entire career. If there is one player who I pray for a downfall is Renato Sanchez. I absolutely enjoyed his downfall while he was at Swansea and all that. I absolutely enjoyed.
Why?
Because like Ojas Bhai said, he was favorite to join United, and Jose personally spoke to him saying that if you join us, you would be the linchpin of this United midfield for a decade. No, this is true. Jose actually spoke to him.
Then will also hit Jerome Boateng. Boateng was told on the call that you will be leading the backline for next 5 to 6 years.
No, it's not that. It is what he said at Bayern's press conference. Renato Sanchez spoke some shit about United fans. He's like, I'd rather play for fans with 50,000 people cheering my name. I'm like, dude, we have 75,000 fans. Our capacity is more than yours. Pipe the fuck down.
Yeah, I don't think so. No, what you're saying must be right. I don't think so. People can compare their clubs with Manchester United fans.
But this dude did. This guy did. So and the reason, that is the only reason. You could have said anything. You didn't have to shit on the club that wanted you, apart from Bayern.
People watching the game were under Ralph Rangnick, man. What is that? 70,000 people were seeing Rangnick manage the team.
Exactly. This is why one of the players who I pray flops wherever he goes.
One news is popping out. Sorry, Ojis bhai.
Yeah. Go on.
MUFC are ready to take the entire salary of Hosami Awar and pay a loan fee. Hosami Awar.
What? What?
Loan. On loan.
Whoa.
NTJFM has just tweeted now.
किसने डाला?
NTJFM, United Zone. You can see the
uh,
tweet.
Santi JFM.
Santi JFM. ठीक ठाक.
Eh, bhai,
Dodgy source. Dodgy source,
no,
but
bhai.
okay.
Even
Our
Q3,
Abhijit bhai, there was a time I wanted Awar for Manchester United. He was like rocking the world.
Our is
I don't
really
mind if
good,
he
man.
comes. I don't mind if he comes now also. I don't mind if he
It
comes
bec-
now
it
also.
becomes it becomes 8 right now if he Hasam hour comes in.
Yeah, if Awar comes, he is a very good player. He's a proper center midfielder. He's a proper center midfielder who has a very good passing ability for me. A very good passing ability. When he was dominating I think the French league, he was from the start only.
Acha, it's
He was just
breaking by the way. Everywhere hour is coming.
yes, that's why I'm telling.
Wow.
Even
It's
I mean,
breaking.
our,
even another news.
Our and Sabitzer will be like bye bye
Sonia
Fred
Kaswara.
McTominay. Bye bye McTominay.
Even Simon Jones and Sammy Mukbel have tweeted that
We can wait.
United are going
We
for
can wait.
FDJ in summer.
So that okay. That is fine.
मुझे
अरे
That
अभी के लिए सोचना है मेरे को.
Gaurav bhai, that was Awar versus City in the Champions League quarters, not semis.
अभिजीत भाई आपने कभी KLPD सुना है?
KLBD नहीं.
नहीं वो ये अपना ये महाराष्ट्र ये नहीं है, वो दिल्ली वाली स्लैंग है, वो जिसमें हमको नहीं पता क्या है वो.
KLPD होता है FDJ में बहुत टाइम, बहुत बार.
ओजस भाई क्लीन रखो स्ट्रीम भाई, ये सब क्या बोल रहे हो यार. भाई क्लीन रखो स्ट्रीम
बीच
भाई.
में आके बोल रहा है उसको भाई क्लीन रख.
What I meant to say was it will happen with FDJ again. It can happen with FDJ again where the expectations are so much and the deal doesn't go through.
तू बहुत नेगेटिव है यार.
No, but I genuinely feel no, but I think I kind of agree with what Ojas Bhai says about the players who are ingrained with the Cruyffian philosophy do tend to have an extended level of loyalty for Barca, and De Jong is not the only one who's done that. I mean, a lot of players who've done that, and I totally agree with it. I think
really hope-
might as well instead of De Jong, maybe we could actually, like Gaurav Katara says, could make OR permanent in the summer if at all he does a good job for us.
I think it can be a look. What actually happened with Bruno? Okay, agree terms on the deal is expected to by option, not an obligation. Still not sure what is happening. I will wait
No,
for
I think we'll have to
No,
wait. We'll have to wait.
No,
We'll have
so
to
the
wait.
thing is there are multiple top tier sources conflicting reports.
Manchester United is something like whenever it is in news, everyone has an opinion. Whenever it is in news, everyone has an opinion, and everyone has their sources. I will wait for the official statement from the club whether we have the buy option or not, because it can just be anything right now. Even it can be an obligation for 20 also. It can be an option for 20 also. So we have to wait and why it will not be an obligation if the new owners come. Why should they have an obligation? Why should they have
Correct.
an obligation? And Awar is a person, Abhijit bhai, I know you might have your doubts, but Awar is a person, like when I saw Bruno for Sporting, I always said a player coming from Sporting, can he dominate Premier League or not? These are the type of players you just have to put your bet in. They can be anything you want. They can be anything you want. And Awar is a player who can really run riots in the midfield. He's really good.
Yes.
He reminds me of that player, Hatim Ben Arfa.
Oh, baller.
The streets won't forget. The streets won't forget.
Hatim
I
Ben
think
Arfa.
Our was linked when I think
Arsenal
Solskjaer
was
was
linked
there.
with Arsenal.
Yeah.
No, it was
Arsenal
linked with
linked.
Arsenal.
When Solskjaer was there.
No, that
No,
interest was that was not an interest exactly, but Arsenal were genuinely interested in Osam War.
Hey, Delvin, who was the QPR player who the streets won't forget? The QPR player?
Adil Tarapt.
Adil Tarap. Oh, why I love that guy, yeah. Adil Tarap. Awesome player he was. His left foot was really.
Okay, so Miguel Delaney has said that United did before going for Sabitzer, United did consider a loan offer for Tielemans, but somehow for some reason that did not materialize. I don't know why.
I don't see. I love Tielemans on the prospect as a free agent. As a free agent, Tielemans is a very good deal that can happen in summer. But right now, Leicester, my loan option for Tielemans would have just
Okay, we have breaking news. Liverpool have actually reached an agreement with Dortmund for Jude Bellingham. They've
From
agreed
which
that it's
Right.
never going to happen.
from which source?
Yeah, they've agreed that it's never going to happen.
Oh, yeah, but
But I have genuine news again.
I have got
Uh,
your the look
okay,
on
I
Sandeep Bhai's
okay.
face.
I have one news. MFC had made an inquiry to entrench Frankfurt about Japan international Daichi Kamada.
Kamada is
Who?
a
Who?
free
Who?
agent in summer. Kamada is a free
Yeah,
agent in
free
summer.
MFC,
agent in
Thuram,
summer.
Thuram is a
United
free
Ray.
agent,
We
and
only.
Sami
Endika is a
Mobile.
free agent. Endika, Thuram, Kamada.
So we could look at for summer signings prospectively, not now. I think
Kam-
UR for now would be better compared to yeah.
Kamada. Delvin Bhai is a proper Bruno. He can be a replica of Bruno. Kamada
Hmm.
I
is
see. I've seen him play in the World Cup. He was very good. He was very good. Yeah.
he is a proper attacking midfielder who can score goals. Also, he will be on the score sheet also.
Hmm.
Yeah. Totally agree. Totally agree. Yeah. Absolutely. So with that being said, I mean, like automatically, like we said, that this is going to increase the rating for the transfer business if UR comes in. What are you? I mean, I know we are talking based on just pure speculation at the point,
I
but
don't
on
know.
the off chance that, but on the off chance that the award deal does happen, uh, Sandeep Bhai and Abhijit Bhai, I'll ask you because you are the one who broke it out to us. What do you think Hussein Muar brings on the table as far as United is concerned?
No, he's versatile player actually. He can play in a in a winger as a winger and as also as a number 8 and number 10 too. So it will be a backup for Bruno Fernandes. Actually, if we progress well in FA Cup and uh, maybe in Europa League, then he can be pivotal for us because Bruno Fernandes is playing so many games and he has not been injured. So some time there will be a fatigue will be kicking. So Asumi Over will be very vital for that to play in those roles, and he can just release that load from Bruno Fernandes, and he can be vital for our rest of the season. What do you say, Sandeep bhai?
I think I really pray and hope he comes in, but I don't know how much of it will
No,
happen. Uh,
I'm
very,
reading it. There is no concrete news developing on our.
yeah, that's what.
It was a general inquiry, and United agents have just put in some words that if our is interested, if there is a deal that could be struck, we are ready to pay a very nominal loan fee, and a complete coverage of salary. That is something. But if the deal gets struck, right now United is completely focused on Sabitzer. There is no concrete news on our.
अरे
How
उसका
much time
जर्मनी
is
से यहाँ पे आने का टाइम लगेगा ना तब तक आवर कर लेते हैं
how much time is just remain for to transfer deadline?
There is still
11
5 hours. 5 hours. 5 hours.
अच्छा आप जर्मनी से यूनाइटेड मैनचेस्टर पूछ रहे हो, मेरे को लगा 3 hours वो तो नहीं है.
No, 5 hours for the
Then
transfer window to close. 5 hours.
then we
5
can sign our.
I still remember waking up to Igalo.
I
Did a decent job
only
though.
thing I
Did a
recently
decent job.
remember only thing I recently remember is waking up to Cody Gakpo, here we go from Fabrizio, then rubbing my eyes and reading Liverpool. Oh my God! I
तो
just
भाई कहीं ना कहीं पता था पैसे नहीं है. Money was not there.
अरे जिस
Yeah,
तरह से
Even
हम लोग लीड खेल रहे थे जिस तरह से हम लोग को मतलब लीड खेल रहा था मैं सुबह से देखा Fabrizio Romano, Cody Gakpo, here we go notification में
somehow there
और
is a
उसके
blessing
बाद
in
बोलेगा
disguise.
लिवरपूल.
Yeah, there was a blessing in disguise in summer. Actually, what happened if FDJ got through, we would not have money for Casemiro. We needed a defensive midfielder. We needed a
Absolutely.
defensive
For
midfielder,
5
and
years.
we have now the world's best defensive midfielder. And imagine adding to this, we get a good center mid in the summer. Very good. I think it was a blessing in disguise. Casemiro was a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, Sandeep bhai, what is your thoughts on Weston McKennie joining Leeds? Do you think it's a good
I
signing? Do
think
you think that makes sense?
I think that if we had not done this Sabitzer and maybe our, I think we could have looked at Western McKennie because Juventus were ready to offload some maybe one of the players, And I think for Leeds United, I don't know how much. Like they're not exactly fighting a relegation battle, or they're not exactly fighting a European spot battle. So Weston McKennie, I think he just gets to play here. Uh, Maybe he was not getting into the team with Juventus. I don't know about the situation in UA.
Window team
All
that
right. So this is off topic off topic of transfer news, but this is very interesting development. The FA have opened an investigation into a video which showed new Chelsea signing
Mudryk.
Modric using the N word in a TikTok video. He issued an apology, but the FA will decide whether if he should be punished or no. भाई आए नहीं और चालू हो गए.
Remember the Cavani thing, which was actually a joke which in a foreign language.
It was
And he
not a
got 3
joke.
lakhs
It
banned.
was actually a term of endearment. Actually,
Exactly. That is what it is called in the Spanish, or I think so. It
yeah,
was
we can't use
banned.
those. Please do
Yeah,
not use
so
those.
I
Don't use those.
I stopped myself. So no, I am not saying anything. But I mean, this Modric thing should be, could get a ban.
it will involve very serious repercussions if true. It will involve. I think there will be a punishment. There will be a punishment.
Yeah, so Sabitzer's official flight carrier, that's Mojo sir, has given us an update saying that his flight has crossed Frankfurt and it is around 57 minutes away from Manchester. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Okay. And here it is.
Okay.
So Nagarjun, one more thing I would say, Gakpo has been I would not say he's been a flop or something like that. He is still to prove his mettle. Even I would say that even Darwin Núñez, okay, he's yet to prove his mettle. He's a chance magnet.
Yeah, everything can happen. Gakpo जिस दिन फॉर्म पकड़ने लग गया ना, फिर आप बोलोगे अरे भाई
Exactly.
रुक जाओ भाई.
No, about our deal, Sandeep bhai, why I'm predicting
Yeah.
that it can be done because लास्ट मोमेंट पे भी अबामेयांग का डील हो गया था चेल्सी के लास्ट
अरे भाई वो बार्सिलोना के बाहर ऐसा
आर्सेनल ना अभिजीत भाई आर्सेनल ना
यस नो आर्सेनल नहीं भाई बार्सिलोना टू चेल्सी
बार्सिलोना
वो तो समर ट्रांसफर हुआ ना.
हाँ भाई बट आई एम जस्ट हैविंग दैट सिनेरियो दैट वी नीड अ प्लेयर. हो सकता है ना भाई. You can go for loan.
Of course.
We need players.
क्या
we have only two fit midfielders that are Fred and Casemiro.
No, I'm just saying the source is a little bit sus. That's it.
But he can be, good. Chalo.
Yeah, totally. It can be. So there are reports again. Matt Law saying that United were offered Saul, but we are smart enough to turn him down. Good thing actually.
Saul, do you guys remember his goal against Bayern? Do you guys remember?
Oh, Mike, that was peak Saul. By the way. That was peak Saul.
That was when I wanted him or not Chelsea. That was the time.
Yes. Even I think that happened 2 years before Chelsea thing.
3. And no. That was way before the Chelsea thing. It was 2016. 2016. Yeah, 2016.
Saul was a left-footed midfielder who we needed because we had Herrera and Schneiderlin around us. I think Schneiderlin left by that time. But Saul would have been a very good move. 2 times. I hate Atletico. I really hate Atletico. They're 2 very good players that we could have got and just made us into a top team. One was Griezmann. And I think Saul was a player when we inquired about, they said 80 million. 80 million for Saul because it was an 8 years contract with Atletico. It was an 8 years contract with Atletico.
So, in his unveiling, Joao Cancelo has spoken about the situation and he's played down any rumors of a rift between him and Pep Guardiola. So, what exactly do you think was the reason that he was shipped out in the first place? If it was not a rift, then
it was Pep Guardiola's "I am the boss." There was a rift. Of course, they will not say it on Like he's still on loan. Remember that still has to go back to Etihad.
He's still a City.
But he's also gone ahead and given a thank you message, citizen forever. Seems like he
वो
knows that his
करते हैं
time at
यार,
City is up.
वो
No,
करते
no,
हैं
no, no,
लोग.
not on a loan, not on a loan.
ऑप्शन है
Not
क्या
alone.
भाई? ऑप्शन या ऑब्लिगेशन कुछ है?
70 million
Of
buy
course,
option
there is 70 million option.
with negotiable terms.
Okay.
So
Maybe. I don't know.
पेप ने एक मतलब सबक सिखाया है भाई. That's it.
Cancelo is one of the
Absolutely.
best right backs. He is one of the best right backs.
City will not go him easily भाई.
Delo
अभी
Delo
डालो
is
हो
the
गया प्रीमियर लीग का बेस्ट राइट बैक. डालो.
And it's
who is
not
not
even
played for
close.
past 2 months. Who has not played for past 1 month.
Yeah, so then obviously that makes it Aaron wan-bissaka, my best right back in the league at the moment. Because he's playing.
Fuck
Yes.
Ben White.
Okay. We agree with you, Dylan bhai. Definitely we agree with you. He is the best
So
Target
Mojo sir
for the
says
moment.
Mojo sir says Cancelo is the Stam moment for noisy neighbors. The Jap Stam incident. What happened with
Yes.
us? Yeah.
Can be.
True.
Can be. And Nagarjuna is saying that Carrasco arrival from China affected
Again.
Saul.
Again. So when Carrasco came back recently from China, they won the league with him, but yeah, it affected Saul's performance apparently. I'm not sure what is the reason or what links the two, but then there was a noticeable downturn in the performance
Then,
though. I could also see.
Delvin bhai, they had two best stadiums. They had Partey and Rodri with them. And they have Rodrigo de Paul, Koke, and Lorente for centre mid options. Saul is nowhere
Plays
close to this.
he plays Lorente at right back though.
What
Marcus
can you
Llorente
expect?
right back, yeah.
It's haram ball basically. So even Joao Felix plays as a defender only.
Felix would be breathing a fresh air.
Yeah.
Ferdinand talking about our where?
What? He?
Gaurav's message.
Bring in
Gaurav-
bhai,
Gaurav
bring in.
Are Rio
Serious?
Ferdinand? Rio Ferdinand.
Arre. No, I mean if Rio is speaking about something, then
Hey, even we have inquired about Sofian Amrabat.
no, he's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere. We spoke about this, no?
Yes. No, for United. They have inquired.
Yeah, but he's not going anywhere. Fiorentina have indicated that he's not for sale.
But he has Amrabat has talked to the president apparently and the owners to push
He's
for
also
a
put
move
in
to
an
Barca.
he's also put in an Instagram story too, like something
Yeah.
regarding do it today,
Dreams and-
don't wait.
yeah.
Yeah, something regarding.
Matt
Basically.
Moreto is reporting that we have talked to Sofian Amrabat, but I don't think so. Anything is going to happen.
अरे वो Barcelona reporters are just, I mean, they just like
They just want things to happen. They
Yes,
just want
but-
things to happen.
I believe every reporter right now, except Onstein, everyone is their own OnlyFans. They just
Onstein,
I
Fab,
think-
Christian Falk, these are the only ones I
No,
believe.
not even Falk. I don't believe Falk
no.
also.
Falk has had a dispute with top reporters. He has been scrutinized.
He's had a dispute with Rashford also last season.
No, I mean, it's only for the Bayern part of it. He's good for that.
Mm-hmm.
That way, then Duncan Castles is good for Portugal related stuff also. No?
Cristiano Ronaldo and everything, yeah.
Gerard Moreno, then Barca.
Fake.
You
Arey,
can say that, but then
Big
since
pagal
last
hai
year
bhai.
he's tarnished his reputation since last year, or else he was a very reliable source for Barca related stuff. Though.
बारसा का वो वाला अच्छा है वो जीशान करके जो एक है.
He's a shit source. He's not even a
He's
source.
He's an aggregator.
He's a troll. He's a troll
he is-
basically.
He's a person who just passes on the news from the script.
Yeah.
बस वो कुछ नहीं
ट्रोल है वो फ्रैंक खालिद. ट्रोल है वो फ्रैंक खालिद भाई.
But
Frank
he's not a reporter or something. No, he's
No, I'm
just
just
a
saying.
wannabe.
Yeah, that's what.
Frank Khalid, I don't know पता नहीं क्या है उसका, but seriously, this Rashad Rahman is someone
Hmm.
I just go and see the news about Barca on his page. There's nothing else, nothing more reliable. वो जो news आती है ना सब, तो but
Oh, I'm so
what
sorry. I was talking about Rashad Rahman, not Zishan at all. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I was talking about Rashad Rahman. Yeah, yeah. True, true, true.
you can are any top clubs around the world like PSG is? Hello,
We
Hello,
have
Ji.
Moses
Hello.
sir on the stream with us.
Frankfurt.
Moses sir,
Are
hello.
you are you live from Frankfurt?
Are you on the flight? Are you on the
Yes.
flight?
No, no,
हाँ, पर्दे लगा रखे हैं मैंने
Manchester
फ्लाइट में.
Airport, Heathrow Airport, Heathrow
So
Airport.
Roman, yeah. So Moses sir, let's talk a little about the so far the transfer dealings that happened as far as the United point is concerned. We are very close to having a year we go from Sabitzer, as Fabrizio has recently said. Apart from that, there are now talks circulating around the fact that United are exploring an alternative or a package for Hussein War on loan again. Uh, what do you make of what Sapitzer brings to the table? And secondly, uh, what what would you feel if we pull out the Hussein Moar deal also? Do you think that this is a midfield which will give us more than enough depth and quality to contend for the positions and competitions in the later stages? Or do you think that there is still certain work left to be done as far as reinforcing the entire midfield is considered, especially now that Ericsson's injury makes things much more complicated?
Look, when the news broke out about Sabitzer, to be precise, I also got to know about United working on another deal. कहाँ से पता चला था? Let's not get into the source of it. But ठीक है. If either of the signings happen, yes, it helps bolster the squad. Because if the news about McTominay being injured is also true, then you're basically screwed. You only have Casemiro, Fred, and Bruno. Forget lasting the 9 games left in 27 days. You're not going to be able to last the next 3 games with those three playing every day in and out. And a new kid on the block by the name of Mayano, I don't think he's going to be able to help you much in terms of the experience required at the Premier League or the FA Cup or the Carabao finals or whatever it is. So this does help. But if there is any such news about a second midfielder also being targeted, I'll take it with a pinch of salt. I don't think it will happen. But then it's only about 2 or 3 days ago we were sitting here and talking about no signings happening for United because the new owners are going to come in, Glazers are on the way out. They're not going to give anything more to Eric Ten Hag than they already have in the form of Weghorst. But this is great news. It is a welcome news because let's be honest, our season could have spiraled out of control very soon, and I mean very soon, within the next 2 to 3 games. What you also got to analyze is that, presuming that we go through to the Carabao Cup final tomorrow night, it's going to be about 6 or 7 matches we play before we get to the Carabao Cup final. Now, 7 games with just Bruno, who else? Casemiro and Fred. By the time we get there, hang on, just give me 2 seconds. By the time we get to the Carabao final, I think we would have played Barcelona only 2 or 3 days before that, in the second leg.
It is immediately after the Carabao final, second leg against Barcelona. Immediately
Okay.
after the Barca game.
Yeah, so
Before.
that's what I'm saying. So we would have just
after,
played Barcelona.
After, yeah. The cup
Yeah.
final is after.
So you're looking at a Nottingham Forest game tomorrow, 2 games versus Leeds, a game versus Crystal Palace, and then you're looking at 2 games versus Barcelona. So that's 7 games before you actually get to the final, and you don't have any other midfielder. And are you trying to tell me that, God help, either of the 3 that we are left with pick up a suspension or pick up a knock or whatever, and then you're royally screwed because you have nobody there. So to cover for the instant emergency, that is Ericsson not being available, I think Sabitzer is a very good signing. Um, Somebody shared his stats on our WhatsApp group about 2 or 3 hours ago. The guy has literally everything in terms of the different skill sets you map a player upon. And even if I don't go into those technical details about the XGs or whatever, or his passing skills, or his ball retention, or his whatever, the thing that does for me is that we're signing somebody from Bayern Munich, and Bayern Munich are a proper football club. You know, हमारी तरह वो media or a stupid circus नहीं है. So when you're buying somebody who Bayern Munich at one point in time thought is going to be good enough for their midfield, then you know that you're buying serious quality. Now, Bayern Munich since might have had issues why Sabitzer could not be integrated into the squad far more regularly. But having said that, he was there. He has come through the ranks of the the Red Bull setup, and I'm more than happy. I mean, 12 hours ago we were looking at complete dire straits. Ki Ericsson gone. While people were saying it's going to be about 2 to 3 weeks, it clearly looked once he was on crutches that he's not going to be back for at least 45 to 60 days, and it works out to be 90 days now. So yeah, this Savitsa news is news made in heaven. But if a second signing does come in, like I happen to have known about 45 minutes after the Savitsa news broke out, then still fingers crossed. You just never know, because if two of the deals are going to
Any
cost
hint?
about, sorry,
Any hint?
look, the name that just got popped up, that
It's a war
French
only. It's a
French
war only.
midfielder. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Our.
his name did come into the discussions. Now, that name came into the discussions before Sabitzer got finalized, or is now just beginning to pick up pace. We really don't know. But uh, but at least look, we getting one signing. Let's just be happy with that. And I did put a question to you guys about 2 hours ago. God damn, you've been on air for 3 hours. Well done, guys. Um, Delvin, you need a Bharat Ratna, man. 3 hours. So no, like I put up a question to you guys about 2 hours ago. I think it was. How would you rate United's January window, given that we have signed Butland,
Yeah.
we've signed Weghorst, and now we're going to, it's more or less done. We're going
Yeah.
to be signing Sabitzer. So, I mean, Butland, doesn't really make much of a sense to me. You already had one or two backup goalkeepers to take care of that, but he came in probably to add just that bit more quality. लेकिन यहाँ पे आके injure हो गया, साला मतलब ही क्या? So, but yes, Weghorst, to be honest, amongst all the short-term signings we've done ever since the Fergie days, when we brought in that guy, what was his name?
Igalo.
Henrik
Uh,
Larsson.
Henrik
Henrik
Larsson.
Larsson.
Henrik
Henrik
Larsson.
Larsson, yeah. Ever since we brought in
Henrik Larsson.
Henrik Larsson, we then brought in Igalo, and now Weghorst. Somehow, I feel that if Dalot and Shaw get there crossing right, then Weghorst will be a very good signing. Trust me on that.
Yeah,
Even if
absolutely. No two points
so
about
far, even if he's not getting that service, when Ronaldo was here, we used to say that it's what do you call it's a graveyard shift. But what Weghorst does in terms of his defensive
work
duties,
rate.
Link up.
Ronaldo never did.
He had
True.
So
highest presses for 2 consecutive games.
yeah, so there you go. So Ronaldo
And
never did.
even one more thing was that Ericsson and Bruno would be also putting in crosses, but Ericsson would be missing now
Right.
for
So
Weghorst.
I think Weghorst is a good loan deal. And
Yeah.
Sabitzer, I'll be honest, I'll put up my hand and say I've not seen much of him. But Mira Joe, concluding point in believing that he will be a good signing is one, he's coming from Bayern Munich, which is a proper football club. Two, the data or the different data points that was shared by one of the fans on our WhatsApp group about his skills across various parameters. He was literally on green on every one of them, barring one, I think. Uh, and three, most importantly, where I draw the line now, and I can confidently say that if Eric Ten Hag wants a player and he's getting it, I'm more than happy.
Yeah. Also, Moses, so you spoke about the fact that we doing business with Bayern. The last time we did business with Bayern was signing Bastian Schweinsteiger, who at that time everyone knew was clearly past his peak. Here we're talking about a player who's well into his prime at 28. This is
Right.
someone who has played the semi-finals of a Champions League as well. Understands what it is to be a part of a pressing system, and has the endurance and the wherewithal to get quick footing into a 10x side, which more or less practices a similar principle as far as the game is concerned. So yeah, all in all, looks like a very close signing, a very good signing. Also, you also
Yeah.
spoke about comparing Jorginho's signing with Sabitzer's.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I feel it's very close to call, but I would bringing all my impartiality into play, I would give the edge to Jorginho to Arsenal only because of the fact that if you because Arsenal already have a settled midfield. It's not like any of their midfielders is out of form. You can see Zaka has got a new lease of life the way he's playing. Odegaard is elite. Everyone knows that. There's no two bones about it. Even Partey, up until the point he was injured, was playing very well as well. You add Jorginho into an already settled midfield. That makes and if you add Jorginho alongside a Zaka or say an Odegaard, that's three different profiles of midfielders gelled in one. That makes that midfield another class apart. United,
Right.
on the other hand, it's only Casemiro who is basically covering that entire space. Yes, Fred does his thing, Ericsson does his thing, but again, it's the point of playing the entire 90. You cannot fade
Mhm.
away after a certain point. And yes, we are not cutting slack. We can cut some slack considering Ericsson's health. But Sabitzer will give us those 90s, and only then we can see who won it at the end of the window. So right
Right.
now, close edge to Jorginho to Arsenal. And as far as rating our window is concerned, Sandeep Bhai gave it a 5.
No,
Abhijit
I
Bhai
gave
gave
it.
it a
I
7. Oh,
I
Ojis
gave
Bhai gave it a 5. I gave it a 6.5. And Abhijit Bhai gave it a 7. So this was our definitive rating for
it.
this window.
Delvin, brother, one thing. If Jorginho somehow fits into the system, which I also believe he will, he is very good. He has had his downfall, but what Sabitzer also does is a pretty
No, no,
tremendous
that's
job.
what I said. It's very close to call. But
51-49.
yes,
51-49.
exact. I only gave it to Jorginho because of the fact that Arsenal's midfield is settled and ours is not. That's it.
Yes.
That was the only reason to
If
just give the edge to Jorginho.
I know the agents of Rabiot are not good, and he's a player who is just thriving in a very different.
Agents, he has only one agent. That's his mother.
Yeah, but we needed a
Lalchi Ma.
but
Exactly.
it is a type of player we needed, a tall center midfielder who can just help in pressing and just convert a very good counter attack on the go. So Sabitzer, I had eyes on Rabiot, Sabitzer, and of course the legend himself, Frankie De Jong. These are the kind of players that just transform everything in the midfield. So really happy with Sabitzer because I didn't even heard a rumor since morning. I didn't even
No
know
one
that
did.
Sabitzer.
No one did. Like Mojo
Yeah,
sir
no,
said,
no.
we were all resigned to the fact that we were going to walk with this window without a single player. Vegas
That
would be
is
the
fine.
last of our
But
signings.
Sabitzer being on the transfer, I never heard of that. Also, I never.
Maybe we are doing things the right way. Who knows?
Yes.
I mean, it could be a false dawn, but maybe it is finally the time that we are doing things the right way.
Is it? Is
And
it
I
the?
and I to, and I totally agree with you when you say we're doing things the right way. Because imagine if this was the crisis under Ollie, we probably will be signing somebody like Shane Long. You know, so, हम लोग पता नहीं
Is
क्या कर रहे होते यार.
is this a way to
And there
protect
is
Gravenberch?
and the reason why
Gravenberch.
you can attract players from a likes of Bayern Munich is because let's be honest, on the continent, Eric Ten Hag holds a lot of respect. That typical
Absolutely, totally
English
agree.
or
Totally
British
agree.
bias is not there. People look up to him, and if any
Also has
sensible,
relations with Bayern. Also has
yes,
relationships with Bayern. Being
yes,
the
he's
youth
been there,
manager,
yes,
yes, he's been
yes.
there.
And more importantly, any professional footballer who's there, who knows how Manchester United was successful. When these kids, the current lot of footballers are growing up, they would have probably grown up seeing Manchester United being successful and winning trophies left, right, and
Correct.
center. It's only 10 years back. So if Sabitzer is 27, he would have been what, 15, 16, 14 when we were winning trophies left, right, and center. So they would have grown up with that successful era of Manchester United. And a professional footballer would now see that if Eric Ten Hag is here, with the respect he holds across Europe, with the way he built the Ajax team, and the way he built his managerial so-called skills at places
Yep.
like Bayern, people will take you seriously now. And
And
I believe,
also the
and I
yes, also the
and
job
the
that
way,
he's done. Yeah,
yeah, go on, go
yeah.
on,
Also the job that he's done with United also is there for
yeah,
everyone to see. I mean,
yeah.
you can literally see that we are well ahead of schedule with the ragtag squad that we have. So
All
yes, it
Right.
automatically
for
adds.
the sake of it. He is not pushing for players for the sake of it. He's
Yes,
pointing at the right players. He's not going for a buying in bulk. He's pointing at the right player and bringing him in. So
See,
that is a way.
what we also got to understand is these are professional footballers, right? They have massive and a huge skill set to be at the level that they are at. So, once you get to that a level of performance, or that level of expectation, that a level of skill set, what is then required is a proper manager to come and handhold you, to put his arm around your shoulders and give you that get up and you can play kind of a motivation, rather than what Ollie was all about. Good lads, and they're positive and they're running
And
around. Yeah, wo.
go.
Sir, it sends a message to McTominay also. It sends a message to McTominay also
Look, I
that
think I think McTominay somewhere has been affected by this Newcastle link.
And West Ham
I,
also.
and
And
and I
West Ham
believe
also.
and I believe McTominay now knows, with the factor that we are talking about in terms of Eric Ten Hag's pull factor across Europe, he is going to sign better players in the coming summer. And once he signs better players in the coming summer, McTominay is not going to be a squad player either. So that's possibly swung his thinking that, look, I may as well now look at a Newcastle and look at a West Ham, and I may as well get going, because come the August of 2023, I don't think McTominay will be required in the what? Forget starting 11, will not be in the bench. He will be
yeah,
far away from being a squad
he
player as
will
well.
be a, he will be sold for a backup CDM. He will be sold and a
Yeah, could
backup
be,
CDM.
could be, could be, could be.
And 30 million for a player like McTominay is excellent business, considering the
Yes,
fact that he's going to
Yeah,
automatically net us a
that,
profit
yes,
irrespective of whatever price he goes on.
yes, yes.
right.
30 million for Maguire, 30 million for McTominay is a wonderful business.
Ah,
Yeah.
perfect, perfect.
So Mojo sir, let's talk about the whole window. Let's talk about other Premier League clubs as well. Who do you think emerges as the biggest winner in this transfer window? It could be a team, it could be a player, it could be anyone.
See,
There have been a lot of interesting deals also. There has been you can always talk the Mudryk to Chelsea, Jorginho to Arsenal. Then there is Anthony Gordon who forced his way from Everton to Newcastle. Or you could say Nottingham Forest with the amount of with the 3,000 players that they have bought as well. So who do you think emerges as the biggest winner of this transfer window?
See, in terms of names flying around, then you can always say that Chelsea is the winner, because they have just gone berserk. Um,
Absolutely.
but then you also got to take into account that, okay, fine, you know, let's be honest, Graham Potter, or he's in that managerial name who will very soon or very quickly turn around things at Chelsea. I've always maintained this, that going by the example, a mistake which Leeds did back in 1992 or 93, when they signed truckloads of players at exorbitant wages or whatever, because they I think they finished in the top two or top three in the Premier League, and they thought they could turn it around, be the champions or whatever, and then it all fell apart from them, for them rather. Similarly, we're noticing this at Nottingham Forest. They signed crazy number of players in the summer. They continue to do so, and yet they're struggling around the relegation zone. Chelsea, uh, now there are two factions to it, the way you analyze it. There could be that Thomas Tuchel loyal set of players who are quite upset that he's been sacked, and they are downing tools towards Potter, and totally feel that is happening. And Graham Potter has gone and said, "Look, I need my set of players." But then comes a question. I don't think Graham Potter is signing these players. I think it's Todd Bowley just
Exactly.
looking at
We spoke
every
about
marquee
yeah.
player, something like Woodward would do. Go sign big name players and hope things will turn around. And I think it's only going to get a little worse for Chelsea. I think if they don't get their head straight, I believe they could finish in the bottom half of the table this season. I seriously do, because they're so disjointed. Their entire playing philosophy is so disjointed from the team that uh, Thomas Tuchel had, and from the 7-8 signings that Todd Bowley has made through the summer till date. It's just a completely mind-boggling, khichdi of a footballing mindset of players they have. And so I believe, if you take it in terms of value, yes, Chelsea have had a massive window, but will they all gel together so quickly within uh, the remainder part of 4 to 5 months of the Premier League season? I doubt it. That's where I believe Chelsea might suffer a little more. Arsenal, like you said, are stable. So Jorginho is a good addition to them. It adds to their squad depth, especially when Partey is injured. And I don't think he's on a long term injury, is he? He's going to be back a little.
Three weeks is the initial prognosis, though.
Yeah, so there you go. I mean, once he's back and once Jorginho is there as well, so they've definitely added to the squad where they needed it. Um, who else signed anybody? Chelsea, Arsenal, and this Gordon kid going from us from Everton to Newcastle. I mean, look, Newcastle are just it's amazing how they have turned it around, and it's amazing how uh, a small lease of confidence can turn your season around. Um I'm not saying that Newcastle was struggling this season, but they were always about sixth, seventh, or eighth. But somehow they went on to that run of winning about 7 or 8 games, and here they are in top four. And to be honest, I was expecting Newcastle to go and do those big marquee signings like this Enzo Fernandez thing. I was thinking they will probably go and do some massive 200-300 million pounds, but that didn't happen. They were very quiet around January. Um, so, will Gordon make much of a difference to Newcastle? I don't think so. It's just again adding to the squad depth. They have a very stable starting 12 or 14, so to speak. Um, so Newcastle are stable there. Arsenal have added. Comes to United, look, we needed a Ronaldo replacement. Had the Glazers really wanted a good amount of money for their for their share. I mean, when they're going to sell the club, they should have started the homework on Ronaldo's replacement and made sure you get a better guy than Weghorst. And I just hope Weghorst starts getting the service which a striker like him needs, and he'll be effective enough. We've already seen his, like I mentioned, his defensive duties. Sabitzer is going to be a good signing, trust you me. Somehow it's Ralph Ranić, signing, kind of a signing written all over it. So we've done decent. Chelsea are all over the place. Arsenal, yes, have stable added to the squad depth. So have Newcastle. Who are the other challenges we have? Spurs haven't done much, have they?
They've bought in Pedro Porro on a loan, but that could get permanent in the summer. And they have let go Jet Spence to Rennes on loan, and
Okay.
Matt Doherty to Atletico on loan.
Okay. So again, Spurs haven't done much.
Yeah.
That leaves with who? I mean, City haven't done much. I mean, City have let go of Cancelo. So
And there were apparent rumors that even Bernardo wanted to go out of the door. So
Yes.
all's not right. All's not right at City.
No,
see,
Bernardo.
Let's just say that.
Bernardo has been pushing for the move since
Last summer. Since last summer.
July was the time where he said to his agents talked to the Man City board that the player wants to play for Barcelona. It's his dream move. And Man City somehow said that due to the lack of midfield options and not sure about how the De Bruyne will play, whether he will play for the whole season or not, with World Cup coming in between, uh, Bernardo Silva move was not sanctioned. And another thing that dependent was if FDJ was sold, the money that they would have got from FDJ sale would have been used for Bernardo Silva.
right. Yeah. So look, I mean, City haven't done much. Arsenal have. So I mean, Delvin, what you asked, in a nutshell, I think. In terms of its effectiveness, I believe United have done the best January window. In terms of its effectiveness, I believe Weghorst will come good. I believe Sabitzer will come good. I don't necessarily believe everybody in Chelsea is going to gel that well. Chelsea might just have, you know, um, uh, a United kind of a season where the dressing room is all over the place. Um, Arsenal look to me like they're going to walk away with it. With if there are any undercurrents happening at City, and I could see the first signs of it when I think Kevin De Bruyne, it was his body language was beginning to give way in terms of always wanting to find Haaland rather than the entire team working together to win a game. And it was very evident that there are some undercurrents. You go, if you find highlights on Hotstar or wherever, you go and have a look at it. Kevin De Bruyne's body language in the last 3 to 4 months has been not there or
Mojo,
thereabout.
Mojo sir, even of the form that you have had for past 2 3 months, how
Mhm.
can you let a player of level of Cancelo go from your team, especially in this part of the season? Well, the
Look,
Cancelo was everything.
look, that's what I said. Cancelo's episode very much resonates to what Sir Alex did with Stam. Stam was irreplaceable at that time, and he was literally the bedrock of our defense. But then there come moments when a manager has to put his foot down and let the world know that who's the boss.
Yeah, even Pep did with Leroy Sané also. I get the point. Leroy
Yeah.
Sané was a very good player, but Cancelo Walker is 33. Walker is 33. Ake is not a proper left back. They have
Hmm.
a Cole Lewis coming up. I don't know if I'm spelling the name right. They have a player coming up from the youth academy. Anything happens, you should have said that okay, we are letting Cancelo go and we will just find a quick fix to that. You've not done
Hmm.
that, and this can be very troubling for City. I don't think they can compete in the Premier League for the title race for the title.
Look, I think what Arsenal are 8 points ahead of them
5 with the
Yes.
game in hand.
with the game in hand. So let's assume it goes to 8. And then you're also looking at the fact that Arsenal have to play City both home and away still. So, I mean, if City turn up proper, that's 2 points with something like what 12 or 13 games to go. It's anybody's title then. But I still believe that if Cancelo has been let to join Barcelona, it's been because
So,
there's been a massive fallout, and
it's Bayern,
the
sir.
manager, the
It's
manager.
Bayern.
Oh,
It's
sorry, Bayern.
Bayern.
Sorry, I apologize. It's gone to Bayern. Then it's the manager putting his foot down as to who the authoritative person is. Nothing
So
else.
does the Cancelo situation mean we sneak in as favorites to finish second? Do you believe there
Yeah.
is an outcome somewhere in the season? Do you believe that?
Look, look for us. See, Delvin, for us to finish second and for us to win a trophy or two, a lot of things need to come together with the proper clockwork, and by that I mean we
Let's
need
see.
to be lucky enough with injuries. Yes, we are signing Sabitzer to counter for the loss of Ericsson, but you still got to take into account we are dealing with human beings. 9 games in 27 days at a professional level. It is horrific. It is absolutely
Yeah,
मतलब क्या बोले उसको क्या मतलब
All
Sabit
right.
sir,
So we have a
थोड़ा
Sabitzer. Here we go. Apparently, just a second. Let me just confirm. I think we have a Sabitzer. Here we go.
let me load.
yeah
Oh
we do.
yes, yes. It's a here we go. It's Marcel Sabitzer. Here we
Congratulations,
go.
guys.
Yes, yes. We've
Congratulations,
done it.
guys.
We've got it. Marcel Sabitzer is officially a Man United player as far as Fabrizio Romano is concerned. And at this
Hmm.
point, whatever Romano says does happen to be true. So I
Okay,
think,
so if Kushagra, you're listening to me, time to update the postmate.
yes. And I think, does this give us enough time to maybe, now Moses, we've spoken about Hussein Ouar. Now that Sabitzer deal is well and truly done.
No buy option.
Uh,
No buy option. No buy
no,
option.
no, no, no buy option. No buy option. I think this is just a dry loan. It's a dry loan. So, Mojo sir, now that the Sabitzer deal is done and it's out of the way, there are still 4 hours 15 minutes left for the deadline to shut.
Right.
4:30 India time. That's 11 p.m. there. Do you think that is this the business that we wanted to do? Or do you think somewhere down the line there could be a tentative touch to maybe Hussein Moar? I say
Uh,
tentative because I don't think there's enough time left for a deal to get concluded. I don't know
I
what
think
the provisions are
this
for the loan market
this
in.
war this war guy possibly got linked to us at a time that we were just throwing our Manchester United name to different players because things were getting to really desperate moments. It must have been something that was discussed internally. That's what I got to know from that. There are actually two midfielders they're looking at, and his name popped up. Sabitza's name popped up, but somehow Sabitza's news just took off like wildfire. So I believe he is going to be the only one that we'll sign, and if he is the only one we're going to sign, I think it's still a very good signing. The reason why I believe he's a very good signing is the reasons why I already said. But most
All right.
importantly, he is the player that Eric Ten Hag wanted, and the way Eric Ten Hag has got the players he wanted to be performing this season, I believe they're good times to look forward to.
Yeah. So Jehan
However,
says that this is. So Jehan says that this is the best winter window since ages. I think yes. Ever since the winter window in which Bruno hopped in, I think yeah, this has been one of the best ones since that. And overall, also, if you see in the grander scheme of things, I don't think we've had a signing that could very well end up defining our season. So yeah, I totally agree with Jay on that. So Ojas by now that Sabitzer is also already done. Let's talk about the transfer window on a use case. I spoke to Mojo sir about who the winners in the transfer window were. Who do you think are the losers in this transfer window? Who thought you could mention a team or you could mention a player as well, since there are both sides. So who do you think end up as the losers in this transfer window?
for me, the player must be Modric. Modric
Okay.
is he although he moved to maybe a better project, but his dream move was Arsenal. He wanted to go to Arsenal. For player, I think it's Modric. I feel sorry for Modric. And yeah, club wise, really, I think so. It is Liverpool. For the obvious reason that although Gakpo is a very good player, they were facing injuries as such. They still had time and some money left where they could have bought some midfielder, at least one midfielder, just to cover up in that position, but they didn't. And Liverpool are for me the losers in this because they've signed a player on the I don't know what basis Gakpo what are they thinking? They have six options now in the front line, and as a player, it is Modric for me because he wanted to go to Arsenal.
So for me, if you see, the loser is actually Caicedo, uh, because of the very
Yeah,
public transfer request that he put in, and also talking about the 10 brothers and sisters that he had. I don't know how that
right.
came out. I don't know how that came out, but he did everything that he could to make sure that he forces a move to Arsenal, but he did not get it. So now he comes back to Brighton with his tail between his legs. And yeah, it could be a very messy situation for Brighton as far as Caicedo is concerned. Uh, and as far as team is concerned, I think the team is not exactly in the Premier League. I think the team would be Union Berlin. Uh, they're high flying, level on points with Bayern in the Bundesliga table. And Isco was a signing that could have catapulted them further into making sure that they finally get entrenched into those Champions League places. But with the Isco deal falling off, I just don't see that they get enough depth. I mean, they already defied expectations so far. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think they can sustain it all throughout the season, because it happened last season as well. They were in the Champions League places for a long time, but they didn't have the energy, they didn't have the legs to go through, and they had to make do with the Europa League place at the end of it.
Right.
So, so I think Union Berlin for me are the losers. But yeah, only time will tell. But for the player, it's definitely Caicedo for me. Abhijit says that Sofian Amrabat to Barcelona is off. It's over. I think it was off
But
quite a few hours
Delvin,
ago.
Delvin, I mean, fine. Brighton put their foot down and they told the player that he's not for sale. But somewhere, if you actually seriously analyze that entire transfer saga, Caicedo is not worth 60 million. Let's be clear about that. And
He's 45 to 50 million at max, sir. But
I would
then
doubt
if
that as well. I would
no,
doubt that as well.
because
I think
only because
because
of the
because for
fact,
the
yeah, yeah,
purpose
go.
for the purpose that Arsenal were planning to sign him is the purpose for which they have signed Jorginho. Now, with Partey being fit, let's be honest, had it been Casado or is it going to be Jorginho, you're going to be on the bench. Partey is
I
the first choice
mostly
midfielder
I
who's going to
think we
play.
are going for Casido. I think we are going for Casido in summer. I think United
You're
will enter.
United? No, I
Yeah,
don't think so.
United will enter.
I don't think so.
We could be in the
We,
race for Enzo in the case that the Enzo deal doesn't happen. I think we'll be all over Enzo. I do see that happening.
Enzo is one because we need a backup center defensive midfielder. Somehow I believe that Casido fits the profile for ETH in that position. Maybe, maybe not.
So speaking about the fact that Caicedo is not worth 40-50 also, I think if Anthony Gordon can go for 40 million, and considering the fact that last summer Chelsea were ready to splash 80 million on Anthony Gordon, this is a player who's only played one and a half season and has only scored 7 goals in the Premier League. We're talking
right.
about Chelsea splurging 80 million for him. Still he did go for 40 million this window.
Right.
So I think 40 to 50 million for Caicedo, who's a number 8. And I think at this point in time, a lot of Premier League clubs are actually looking for number 8s, a bona fide number 8 who can fit their profile. I think 40 to 50 is not a bad shout, but anything above that is overpaying.
If Gordon 40,
Yeah,
Phil Jones 20.
Come again, what is that?
If Gordon goes for 40, then in that market, Phil Jones should be 20.
Yeah, Gordon is a jack of all trades, master.
रिटायरमेंट प्लान लिखा के लेके आया ऊपर वाले से, मतलब कमाल ही है.
He's spoken about Twitter warriors tweeting about him while he's doing nothing at his home and earning 120, 130k a week.
No, I think he's on about 80k a week.
100.
It's still too much for him. It's still too much.
Crazy. And to think that actually Oli gave him a 6-year contract. Bloody hell. लंगर लगा हुआ लंगर.
Men will come, men will go, but I go on forever.
No, so look, I believe our summer is going to be, if we get like really good owners, our summer will be about 2 or 3 very big names, plus very effective 4 or 5 players. I think by backups, I still believe we'll sign a right back, we'll sign 2 centre backs, we'll sign a good goalkeeper who can challenge De Gea and not just sit there do nothing. We will sign 2 midfielders, and we will sign at least 2 strikers. Believe me, we will sign 2 strikers.
Yeah,
so,
and Pedestri and Ahmad can be backup for the wings.
I mean,
I think either one of them. I think one of them, not both. I genuinely believe either one of them.
I think Ahmad will be sold.
Could be. If
there was a list I was sending you guys, but then I ran out of the number of characters that I could type the message upon. So, but I still believe the likes of Ahmad, Pelistri, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Brandon Williams, Maguire, these guys are going to go.
Dean Henderson also. Dean Henderson also.
So these 7-8 players in itself, could fetch you about 100-120 million pounds. So, I mean, for that, go ahead, get a Osimhen, man. 80 million में sign करो, you still left with 40 million. And for all you know,
something we can do.
I mean, I'm still hoping this happens. That imagine Weghorst has a fantastic second half of the season. You never know. Just go and get him for 10 million, a backup to Osimhen.
Very important to target free agents. Some of in the midfields are N'Golo Kante, Rabiot, Tielemans.
Tielemans will be nice, but Kante and Rabiot are past it. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Kante can cut at this level anymore.
Kante is 32. I don't think he should be anywhere near our plans.
Right.
Yeah,
Tielemans is good.
Yeah, Bellerin was an option at right back as a free agent.
He's gone to Sporting.
Yeah, Sporting. Kamada is there. Right winger is Traore is out of contract. Adama Traore is out of contract.
You really want him? No, absolutely not. No. No, exactly. I mean, if you want, I think Locatelli is a good option, sir, considering the mess that UA are in. Locatelli of Vlahovic.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you're talking about a centre back, then even Jelson Bremer for UA.
Mhm.
Very good option.
So,
Very good option.
I mean, there was a comment by somebody who's watching us live that if Ajax don't make it to the Champions League, then Timber is going to be available, and I don't think he's going to miss the boat this time.
Yeah, I think because Van Gaal is not part of Netherlands anymore, I think maybe we could finally get a free run also. Yeah,
No,
I totally.
even if he was, I think it's pretty much evident that he's not going to be there till the next World Cup, and he's seen what Eric Ten Hag has gone to Manchester United and done. Imagine, but then there's going to be a catch that if you get Timber at about 45, 50 million, then it's Timber, Martinez, and Varane. So that's automatically improved, centre back, so-called partnership. And I still believe Lindelof can improve. So
But
keep Lindelof.
Timber and Lisandro can't play together for me in
Yeah,
this league.
that's true. That's true. Yeah, that's true. So maybe Timber and Lindelof are a partnership. Varane and Martinez have already done well. So at least there's an improvement there.
Um,
Um, but it's going to be interesting.
Varane and Casemiro are the two players, sir. I think we need a ready replacement for them. We need
Right.
And
players for.
that's where Caicedo could come in for
Yeah, that.
Look,
yeah.
I agree, but then if you think the way Eric Ten Hag has already shown that he can act a little shrewd, although our board was so fucking slow as a snail that they couldn't act on time in the summer. Otherwise, we would have saved about 45, 50 million in signing both
Martinez and
Anthony and
Anthony.
Lisandro Martinez
Casemiro,
and Anthony. We have wasted 35 million.
and then similarly 15, 20 million on Casemiro.
But that 70 million is inclusive of add-ons, sir. We paid 60 upfront, 10 million is on achievable add-ons.
I totally agree. Matlab, I totally agree. Even if I say that out of the if you assume we paid 50 or 60 million more and about 15, 20 million in add on, you still paid about 40 million over the odds. And that 40 million in this transfer window could have helped you get good two midfielders on permanent signing who could be used as bench players or squad players to add to that depth. And Eric Ten Hag is savvy enough to figure out those 25, 30 million pounds worth of players who are going to be very good to his system and yet be okay with being, the squad player next season once new owners come in and we sign some marquee players here and there, whatever it is. 4 hours
Yeah,
remain to the window. Yeah.
4 hours
I
into the
think
window, yeah.
Chagre bhai, United is done. I think United is done.
Yeah, so Moses sir believes the same. Ojas bhai believes the same.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether we are done or not, but I think we are done as well. And with that being said, we also come to an end to this stream. Ojas bhai, Moses sir, thank you so much for joining in. As also Sandeep bhai, Vaibhav, Abhijit bhai, all those who have joined with us throughout the duration of the stream.
Delvin, your voice is gone. You are
Knock, knock.
gone.
Knock, knock. Delvin, knock, knock. Hello. Anybody there? I thought India had 5G now.
So this is not. I don't know what.
Oh yeah. Sorry. It was me. So I'm glad that we were live the time the Savitzer Here We Go was announced. Like we said, we've done with our business, and I hope that Sabitzer comes good for us. The expectation is that he hits the ground running. Thank you for all of y'all who followed us throughout the duration of the stream at varied times. Thank you for everyone on the chat who made it insightful, who made it much more interactive, and really look at how good he looks in red. I mean, seriously,
The
he
red of
already
United.
has. Yeah, he also has the best hairstyle in the United side, if I must say. No one comes close. Yeah. With that being said, do like, share, subscribe. I said this at the start of the stream
I
as
think
well. I say
Delvin,
this again. Yep.
Delvin, sorry to interrupt. I think we guys were on air when Weghorst ka Here We Go hua tha, tabhi.
We did a live. We got on the moment it was announced, but this was during the duration of the live. So great. It was good to have live insight on both of them. So do like, subscribe, and comment. Make sure that our stream reaches to as many United fans across the globe as possible. Thank you to all of you all joining in. We want you to join in large numbers whenever we are on stream. Makes it much more enjoyable for us, makes it feel much more involved as well. So do join in, do show us your love. We are available on Facebook and Twitter, and Instagram. Sorry, not Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Do drop us a follow there. And I say this on every stream, especially today, but especially today, that every day is match day on WhatsApp. I think we've had close to 1,000 messages since evening. I think from the moment the
Excellent.
Sabitzer news came out
Wow.
in the WhatsApp group. I think you do not want to miss an opportunity, and this is the best opportunity to join in. Especially with the run of games coming, I don't think there will be a day which is going to be idle. There are going to be discussions every single day. So do hurry up and join us there. And do give a look at the website if you want to be part of an immersive fan experience. A lot of cool stuff to check out. With that being said, this is Delvin along with Mojo Sir and Mojus Bhai bidding you good night. Thank you once again. Do take care of yourselves, and we will see you soon, very, very shortly. Good night. Take care.
Take care, guys. Cheers.